The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. I think
He missed the complete. That is crazy
As I
stuff.
said, Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Located in Loudon, New Hampshire, lies the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. The Magic Mile, as it's also known, has hosted NASCAR racing since 1990. Its first Cup race was in 1993, where Rusty Wallace brought home the victory. New Hampshire Motor Speedway has gone through some changes in its time. It actually started life as a full road circuit back in the late 1960s, and once new owners purchased the facility in 1989, transformed the speedway into what we see today. It's been replaced, resealed, reworked, and all in the name of trying to find a happy medium for passing and racing. It's been a progressively banked oval for a few years now, and the top is the place to be for these AdvoCare Cup cars. The Speedway has provided some exciting battles through the years and thrilling finishes. Who will work their way into the next round of the chase? Who will be on the outside looking in? And can anybody beat Scott Eckrich? We'll have all of those answers for you and more live in our flag-to-flag coverage of the Coastal Safety Auditors 150. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Brian Yazek. Joining me in the booth is Tanner Sharp. In the production truck, trying not to get butter on the mixing board while enjoying a monster lobster, is Amjad Yaman, who is using cameras provided to us by Dougie Beard. Tanner, we close out the round of 16 today. Tell us what the drivers will be up against here in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire Motor Speedway is also known as the Martinsville on steroids. It is a mile track, or just a tick over a mile, 1.058, with various banking in the corners, 2 degrees on the bottom side and 7 degrees on top of the track in the middle of the corners. And I'm telling you, those degrees of banking is actually going to be key today, Brian, because it allows the drivers to find their groove in the racetrack. They're going to be searching for grip, and they're going to be searching all around to get a better run off the corner of the exit. Partly cloudy today, 78 degrees in the air, 99 degrees is the track temperature. It's relatively cool, but these cars can snap loose on the exit of the corners in that degree of temperature. 150 laps these drivers will be turning tonight. And to show you how to get around the Magic Mile, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, let's hop on board on the Chevrolet SS on the Global Sim Racing Channel.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Brian Yazek, taking you for a spin around the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, the GSRC Chevrolet SS. New Hampshire is a 1 mile, pretty much flat oval. Really, when you bank it out, there's a little bit of banking, but I think it's just enough to keep the debris rolling down. Off into turn 1, you're going to kind of find this high groove right here and let the car roll through the middle, pick up the gas about halfway into the corner, and then all the way full throttle again on acceleration. If you get back into it too quick, it's going to spin out and get real loose out of turn 2. Back down into turn 3, same situation. Pretty easy to overshoot the entry to the corner, but the same principle applies on the other end. Let it get down to speed, don't get back to the gas too quick, and let it roll out of the corner. Now, my mark here for this guide is the number 2 up there on the fence. If you're really feeling brave, maybe for hot lapping, you might be able to brake somewhere between the 2 and the 1. If you're really brave, you might be able to go at the 1. But the same principle is going to apply for race. You're going to want to get down and get the car settled early, because that's going to help that right front give you grip throughout the run. Let it roll through the middle. Don't get back into it too quick, just like I did right here, and fight the wheel all the way off the corner, straight and across the line. That's going to complete our track guide here around the New Hampshire Motor Speedway and the GSRC Chevrolet SS. I'm Brian Yazik. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back here on the Global Sim Racing Channel live here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the PPRL League. And I'm telling you, before we get all the big top stories for today's race, let's check out our chase standings. Scott Eckert on top of the board with 2 wins. Can he go for a third today? We will find out soon enough. Dan Murray, 46 points ahead of cutoff line. He's pretty much safe. So is Jake Wright with 43 points ahead. 38 points is Jonathan Goodell. He's okay. Brett McBride is sitting pretty well, entering the next round as well there in that number 2 car. He's 36 points ahead. Mr. Excitement himself, Drew Carroll, 28 points ahead of the cutoff line. Nick Cohan is 17 points ahead of the cutoff line, and Tommy Ryan is 17 points ahead of the cutoff line. But I'm telling you, it gets even closer yet there, Brian. What's on the other half?
On the other side of the top 8, you've got Rich Jetty, 16 markers up, tied with James Krahula, also 16 markers up. With the way that the field is set tonight, we've only got 27 cars out tonight, so I don't think these 2 guys back here, Jetty and Krahula, I don't think they've got a whole lot to worry about. It's going to take a pretty abysmal finish for them to even worry about being close to that cutoff line. Ricky Harden, a little closer. I still think he's going to advance. Here is where it's going to get interesting. You've got Calvin Filarski, 1 point up. The airman, Rick Thompson, 1 point down. And Snoop Doggy Don Runkle Jr., 4 markers back. You've got 3 guys battling for 1 spot. I think that's where we're going to have to focus our attention to. Matt Lacrosse, Ryan Howard not here tonight, so they will not advance to the round of 12. So I think that's going to be the battle there between Filarski, Thompson, and Don Runkle Jr. So it could get interesting. We got 150 laps here at the Magic Mile. As you see Calvin Filarski on screen in that beautiful in-and-out Toyota. Makes me real hungry for a double-double animal style. Let's take a look here. So, yeah, fuel window, probably looking 46, 48 laps based on some of the numbers. As you see Ricky Harden taking some qualifying time. That bubble is going to be that's going to be the hotbed of activity back there. So it's going to be interesting to see as the race progresses how these guys go through there. But the other storyline is Scott Eckert. He's 2 for 2 in this round so far. Can he complete the clean sweep of round 3, effectively locking out a safe bid for somebody else?
I tell you what, we're already talking about Scott Eckert might be doing a clean sweep for the first round. But I'm telling you, Brian, if you want any shot at winning this championship this season, you have to beat Scott Eckert. I know that's really tough to do because Scott is good wherever he goes. But, I mean, Scott is just on fire throughout the regular season. And now we're in the playoffs of the chase, and he's on fire, and he's 2 for 2. He might be going for 3 for 3, sweeping that first round of 16. So, I mean, those other 15 drivers have to kick it in gear and start competing with Scott Eckert if they want to try to get to compete with him down at Atlanta, which is the last race of the season. But right now, the big story of the night, who's going to make it to the next round? I mean, Rick Thompson is on the bubble, Don Runkle Jr. is on the bubble, and guys who pretty much have to win no matter what, according to my eyes, as Matt Lacrosse and Ryan Howard, they have to win no matter what. But it's going to be interesting on that bubble there, Brian.
It's going to be tricky for them to win, considering they're not in the server tonight. So, unless some kind of fate of miracle can happen, I think that they're going to be sitting out for the next round. Now, the round of getting from 16 to 12, it's going to be a little easy. But then, here's the deal: we got Dover, Charlotte, and Kansas coming up as the next 3 races in this round, and we're going to trim down to 8. So that's where things I think are going to start getting a lot tighter between the drivers at the top and the bottom. The other thing is New Hampshire kind of races like a short track, somehow mated with a super speedway or at least a 1.5-mile track. You build up so much speed down the straights and then really have to get that thing wound down to probably under 100 miles an hour in the corner. So really going into the corner and out of the corner are typically hotbeds of activity here at New Hampshire.
It definitely is, and these drivers, I bet these drivers are actually happy that iRacing does not have any brake rotors heating up. Otherwise, these drivers will have to manage their brakes, if you know what I mean. So they kind of got a free pass on the simulation of iRacing today. But yeah, getting in the corner, you want to get in the corner, but not hit your competitor, whatever. I did say on top of the show, this track races like a Martinsville on steroids. It's like a bigger version, a big blown up version of Martinsville. You got to get hard on the brakes into the corner and let the car coast, and then just ease into the gas and start getting full throttle by the time you get onto the straight. So, and with 99 degree of track temperature, Brian, these cars can snap loose on that bottom as you're trying to get over the top off of turn number 2. Turn number 2 is going to be a tricky corner for these drivers today.
It is, because you really got to wind that thing down and try to get on the exit of the corner and then try to stay off of somebody. So the top lane is going to be the lane to be in coming off of turn 2. So it's, like I said, just going to get real interesting there. The other thing that we learned, and I'm not sure if it's going to apply over the Grand National race that ran last night here on the Global Sim Racing Channel at New Hampshire, which was won by Dan Murray. 2 tires wasn't a bad call, but now that we're in partly cloudy skies, Tanner, what do you think?
Well, I've always been a 4-tire guy no matter what, really, just because, let's just say if a caution comes out within the first 5 laps of the race and everybody pits, I think right there is going to be the time to take 2 tires and test it out. And if it doesn't work, then 2 tires is not going to work. But me, I've always been a 4-tire guy, and you're going to need those 4 tires to gain track position. You're just hoping for a long green flag run if you qualify in the back, so that way you can gain that track position by pitting early and having those fresh tires early on. So, man, it's a hard call to make, and that's what's so frustrating sometimes if you have a crew chief up in the box. His brain is all over the place trying to figure out what to do. I'm just glad I'm not a crew chief or a spotter for any of these drivers, because I'd be giving myself a headache up in the box and try to win the race. But man, these guys, they'll have their hands full down the pits and on the track today.
It could be interesting. 2 tires could work, especially passing on the bottom here at New Hampshire is really, really tricky. You've got to have that car hooked up.
Honestly, it's not too bad with 2 tires, actually. It can help with the handling of the car. It can help out with that looseness on the exit of the corner, because taking 2 tires, that technically tightens the car up, if I'm not mistaken.
It can, yeah. And so, yeah, trying to get that run on the bottom is going to be tricky. So if you can get that run up top and keep that thing wound up, you can really kind of defend the top of the track. But someone that really found a good way to get around here, our chase contender, Rhett McBride, going to be pulling down his Savage Spinners Pole Award. Savage Spinners, unique river and stream lures from the Pacific Northwest, handmade quality from the United States to entice fish at an affordable cost. We're going to go on board with that number 2 Jegs machine. Tanner, take us through the lap.
Yeah, Rhett McBride all the way up by the wall on the start of his opening lap here, and down into the corner. You don't want to get too low. You want to try at least be in the middle side of the racetrack, coming off the corner here off turn number 2. A little lower than usual, but a lot of the guys will stay up by the wall. And as you can see right here, Rhett McBride headed down to turn 3 from the wall, down into turn 3. These entries on the corners is very important, Brian, because you can gain time on a driver ahead. As you can see, he's up by the wall, coming off turn number 4, right next to the wall, almost to the point where you can't fit a piece of paper between the car and the wall. So, and that is a way to get around New Hampshire and get a good qualifying time, is staying up by that wall, making sure you get your corner correct, because if you do not get your entry correct, you might screw up your exit.
Yep. So Rhett McBride going to be sitting in the P1 position tonight. Going to be a good starting spot. Get himself a good pit road exit selection. So that's going to be pretty good. And remember, folks, stay tuned. After the race, we've got some special announcements coming here at the end of the race. No, we're not going to be announcing a car. We're going to be announcing something a lot more cooler than that. So stay tuned after the race, after the driver interviews, and we're going to have some special announcements. So we're going to keep teasing those throughout the race.
Hashtag confirmed.
So there you see the airman sitting on pit road 20th. Don't think he took a time. Nope. A lot of guys elected not to take a time.
Yeah, Scott Eckerd's another guy, and he didn't even take the time last week either. So, and he ended up winning Chicagoland. So, Scott Eckerd is going to be the guy to watch, obviously. But also, drivers we have to keep an eye on tonight are the bubble drivers, Brian. And I mean, we can't stress that enough at all. I mean, the bubble drivers tonight that need to make it is Rick Thompson, Don Runkle Jr., and sure, you could throw Matt Lacrosse and Ryan Howard into the mix as well. I mean, Matt Lacrosse is only 23 points behind the cutoff line, which is awfully a lot, and Ryan Howard's 26 points behind. Those two drivers are pretty much in a much-win situation tonight, while Don Runkle Jr. and Rick Thompson mathematically can still race it in on points.
3 guys battling for one spot. Going to get interesting as to watch this 150 laps run out. And so we got about 9 seconds left in the qualifying sessions. Nick Cohan's didn't get a whole lot of practice time, so he's using this opportunity to get at least get a couple corners on the car and know how it sits. But as the session progresses over to gridding, we're going to go through a full field rundown here. As we talked about, Rhett McBride on the pole with Craig Stykes starting to his outside. Dan Murray, your Grand National winner from last night, starting in the 3rd position. Tommy Ryan 4th with Tim Johnston in 5th. Jake Wright up there in the 6th position. Chris Westerfield 7th. Drew Carroll in 8th. Will Worsler in 9th. Rounding out your top 10, Troy Hayden.
And outside the top 10, you have James Krahula in that 24 car starting 11th tonight. Robert Barney starting in 12th. Ricky Harden, who's actually 13 points ahead of the cutoff line. Although he needs to have at least a consistent night. He'll start 13th tonight. Calvin Filarski, 1 point ahead of the cutoff line. He needs a good finish to try to make it on points or win the race. He'll start 14th. John Hensley, a newcomer, I'm not familiar with his name. Might be a newcomer to the series. He'll start 15th. Jeff Ryan in the 88 will start 16th. Travis McQuestion in 17th. Jonathan Cadell, the last car to take a qualifying time. He'll start in 18th position. And Scott Eckrich in 19th. And rounding out the top 20, Josh Parker.
Eckrich didn't take time last week, and that didn't stop him getting the win. So we'll have to keep an eye on the driver for that number 70 as he progresses through the field. In 20th place, there you go with that. 21st, matching his car number, Nick Cohan, the Jerky Man. 22nd, Jeffrey Gilliam. 23rd, the Airman, Rick Thompson. Ricky Monzo in 24th with Rich Jetty. 25th, going to get an end-of-the-line penalty before the race starts. 26th to Randy Yoakum, 27th to Gerald Livingston, Brendan Minnick, 28th, Stormin, Norman Pelletier in 29th, and rounding out the field, Snoop Doggy Don Runkle Jr. in 30th.
Oh boy, getting ready to go racing on the 1 mile track, or a little tick over a mile, 1.058 here of New Hampshire. And Brian, this is the final round before we go on to our next round, which will be the round of 12. And I'm telling you, I mean, Rhett McBride, I think he's got a chance to win this race, baby.
He does have a good shot at it. We've seen Rhett have a really good run at Richmond, some of the other short tracks throughout the season. And this place is just like a big short track. Jonathan Cadell saying he's having brake problems under the pace labs. He's going to have to pit in. But here we go. Up front, field is going to be in the control of Rhett McBride. And he's going to get onto the loud pedal and away. We're under green at the Coastal Safety Auditors 150. Rhett getting a great jump off the start. Craig Stykes going to fall in line right there into the 2nd position. Dan Murray going to try to steal 3rd away from Tommy Ryan. He's going to have the position there. Tommy Ryan going to be 4th in the first side-by-side battle coming off of turn 2. Jake Wright, Tim Johnston.
Yeah, Jake Wright. What a nice jump by Rhett McBride. Jake Wright is actually going to make clear him here, and he does. So now they're all going to try to fan out. Maybe Jake Wright looking for more on the higher side off of turn number 4 as Rhett McBride completes lap 1 and gets a bonus point under his belt for the chase.
And he was in a good position sitting in, probably, I think, mathematically points locked in. Before that, is Jonathan Cadell still having issues down there on the apron in turn 1. Oh, caution is out. Put it out, and I think that's going to be for Cadell because he stopped on the track. Now he took a toe to pit road. Yeah, we're going to see here on the replay, just the brakes not working right in his rig. Luckily, like I said, I believe he's got enough cushion in the point standings to be okay.
Cadell, 38 points. He'll lose points today, but I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, he's mathematically in. I think from McBride, even Drew Carroll up, you're pretty much mathematically locked in from this point. So not the way that Jonathan Cadell wanted to start his night in that number 11 machine. But Rhett McBride, teammate, starting his night off really good, keeping that number 2 Jegs machine. Look at that car. That's a nice car.
That is a very beautiful car from the number 2 there, and pit road should be open this time by
a couple laps. I don't expect any takers,
I don't expect
but
any
I've been
takers.
surprised.
Maybe some of the guys in the back of the pack might come in for 4 tires.
Yeah, if you got nothing to lose, go ahead, bring it in, throw 4 tires at it, and see what happens. Looks like McQuestion, Eckrich, Cohan, Monzo, Thompson, Livingston, Don Runkle Jr., Norm Pelletier. Norman Pelletier. He's actually announced some of his 2017 plans, and he is going to be, he's joining up with a new squad. It's going to be Pelletier, McQuestion, Speedway, or Speedworks. Was that director? Did I get it right? Something like that. So yes, if you're playing at home, that's PMS. So these boys are having a whole lot of serious fun with it. Hopefully the cars won't be red next year.
Nick Cohan, the jerky man, on pit road as well. I think everybody down pit road did take 4 tires. Really nothing to lose for a lot of these guys, actually.
Yeah. Did you suddenly go down to Texas there, Tanner? All of a sudden you put a twang on all that.
No, I did not, actually. I've been up here in the Midwest of the great state of Wisconsin drinking beer.
There you go. All right, so Field's kind of working their way around. I imagine they're probably going to get the 1 to go right here. No, this will be 2 to go right here because there's no cars. The only car that's a lap down is Jonathan Goodell, and he brought out the caution, and he's still sitting on pit road. So,
sorry, Brutus.
Yoakum hitting pit road again. I mean, Goodell, if this race, if we get a bunch of quick cautions and he gets the brakes fixed on that machine, he could get back into it.
Yeah, he could.
Director, do we have points as they run? Or did we break that again? We left that special machine somewhere.
Well, either way, I can probably take a look at the points and just and pretty much kind of figure it out. Like, I mean, he's 38 points ahead of the cutoff line. So if he has a bad day today, I mean, he mathematically could probably get in. I would just be a little more concerned if he did have like 17 points or 13 points ahead of the line.
Well, just by my quick math, Filarski is in. He's running 13th right now, and the 2 guys chasing him, Runkle Jr. and Thompson. Thompson is in 24th. Don is in 26th. So just from positions on the track, every position is 1 point. It's kind of easy from there. So I think I got that part figured out. So go me.
Anything can happen. I mean, nothing's for sure until that checker flag drops.
You're absolutely correct. It's all up into the air until that checkered flag flies. So racking them and stacking them on the restart. Rhett McBride, Craig Stykes, Dan Murray, Tommy Ryan, Jake Wright making up your top 5. Tim Johnston, Drew Carroll, Chris Westerfield, Will Warsler, and James Krahula rounding out your top 10. Just 6 laps into this 150-lap dance. Ford Mustang pace car going to be trying to get out of the way, give the field back over to Rhett. I'm sure he wants to stretch those tires out, stretch the legs out on that machine, let it run, let it eat. Here he goes. Pace car is away, field is in his control, and he's onto the loud pedal. We're back under green flag racing at New Hampshire. Another great start for Rhett McBride. Going to get a clear jump going into turn 1 over Craig Stykes. Dan Murray once again going to try to slide job on top of Tommy Ryan. I think he's going to make it stick off of the corner. Look, Ryan's going to run. Nope, Ryan's going to be under fire from Jake Wright coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, and that first side-by-side between Jake Wright and Tim Johnson as they head down turn number 3. Got to be careful in the corners because if you overdrive the corners, you'll get your competitor who's running that higher line. But another thing here in New Hampshire is you want to stay away from that, pretty much closer to that yellow lane down there. It can get really loose down there.
That again, if you really get onto the gas and crank the wheel up to get onto the gas, it will spin out on you, especially on corner exit too. You got to really mind that.
Easy 54 got really loose off of turn number 2, and I mean he got loose.
Jake Wright going to take the position away. So bad luck for Tim Johnston early. He's under fire from Drew Carroll.
I mean, he wrecked. He just didn't hit anything.
There you go. Still side by side going down the front stretch. Drew Carroll and Johnston.
Yeah, Johnson, he's just trying to recuperate from that and up on a higher side. At this point, I would just kind of let Drew Carroll go by and just kind of fall in line right there because that's a pretty decent gap back there where the number 10 car, Will Warsler, and James Krahula are.
And also,
Pretty
while we
decent
got
size.
while we got a second, give our best wishes to Woodrow Mahan. Good familiar face in the Grand National Cup Series. Sitting out tonight. Flu-like symptoms. Good night to have a whiskey for a sponsor, I would think.
We'll tell you what, hopefully Woodrow Mahan gets all, I wish him well, and hopefully to see him back on the racetrack, because I miss watching the old Jack Daniels paint scheme on track.
Makes me thirsty up here in the... Oh! Barty got real sideways off the corner to the point that the tires actually locked up, but he kept it going the right direction. He does have some right front damage, so who has left rear damage? That's my next question.
Yeah, they made contact with him.
Was that me? Look at the back of Jeff Ryan. Was that bent up a little bit back there?
Jeff Ryan? Gotta find Jeff Ryan here. Okay, they're 88 car.
Yeah, I'm putting one and one together here, Tanner.
Yeah, it's a little crunched up in the back end.
Gets real squirrely off of the top side just as we were at the camera pointing just behind it, but he got really squirrely coming out of the corner. I'm sure that was a pucker moment for both he and Barney. Oh, Ryan gets really high coming through the middle of the corner there.
Yeah, he actually got on the gas and put a little too much throttle in the middle of the corner, and that allowed him to wash up the track going side by side with the 82. Really hate there, but yeah, that back end of the race car is a little dented up, but I don't think it's really going to affect his aerodynamics at this point.
No, not too much. I mean, you might lose a little bit of rear downforce with the spoiler bent up, but it's not going to hurt. God, there was a bunch of guys getting real squirrely off of the corner. Back there, that was Don Runkle Jr., Gerald Livingston, Rich Jetty. A little bit of a stack up coming out of the corner.
God, Eckrich keeps on
He's working
coming.
his way out. He's up to the 12th
12.
position.
Yeah.
And pretty fast, too.
I've been keeping an eye on him at the corner of my eye, and right now he's not surrounded by a car right now, but just ahead of him is Josh Parker.
Just looking at the timing and scoring, Eckrich last time ran a 30.49 to Rhett McBride's 30.74. Caution is out, put it out. It's Nick Cohan, I think.
21?
No, it's
It's Cohan.
No. Is it Cohan?
He got rear damage. Yeah, it was Cohan.
I think Yoakum. There's a car with a bent up front end, I think.
Yeah. He got punted entering turn 3.
Oh, Rick Thompson got a part of that too. I don't think the damage is critical.
Oh.
Go on board to the number 55 machine here. Oh, I don't think he was expecting Cohen to break that early, or he was trying to break late. I'm not sure what happened there.
That very well could be, because that's actually an easy mistake for a driver to do here, is try to understand where everybody is braking here at New Hampshire. And if you don't brake at the time that person brakes, I mean, you're going to run in the back of him, and he's going to go for a turn. Yeah, actually, Cohan got on the binders just a little bit, actually after the 55 John Hensley did.
This caution, everybody to pit road, but really quick, this caution, bad news for Nick Cohan, Rick Thompson, a couple guys back there, but it's good news for Jonathan Cadell. First Coastal Safety Auditors Lucky Dog Award of the night. We're going to watch this battle out of pit road here really quick. There you see, we got a split strategy here. 2 tires, no tires. I think Krahula just buzzed down pit road. I think he missed his stall. So now we're going to jump over here, take a look at the driver of that number 11 machine. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services. Cadell bringing the good dog biscuits for Brutus tonight. So he's got 2 laps to make up. And I really think I just want to watch Krahula. He came down pit road. They do fuel only. No, he did.
That's
I'm
not
watching
even his
him right
pit box.
now.
He came down pit road.
He went to the wrong box.
He went to the wrong box.
Yeah, he just came over the radio and said he was going to pit.
And if you could get, I don't know on a replay here, but I mean, you can see it's one pit box ahead. He's in the 82 pit box, and right behind the 82's pit box is the 24's. So he definitely misses pit box.
If only there was a program out there that counted you down to your pit stops.
Well, Well, I'm going to have to do
If
some
only.
research.
Simracingapps.com. Gilliam will appreciate the little shout out there.
I use it. Love hearing
And
your voice.
It features my voice as a pit road countdown. And the next build, the little secret there, next build we're going to have some more of my voice in there, just some different enhancements for these sim racing apps.
Is a door
sweet.
bumper clear?
We're not getting into any of that. We're debating on the Brian Yazek spotter pack. The problem is I probably couldn't keep it PG-13.
Oh, well, one thing I would like to have in iRacing is when you're going down pit road, have like the pit road billboard signs like light up like a Christmas tree kind of like deal, and that way you can see the pit, where you're pitting. That way the numbers light up and you can see it.
Well, we still need animated pit crews. Hint,
Hashtag
hint.
soon.
Hint, hint, iRacing.
Hashtag soon.
All right, so Craig Stykes, your new leader. Rhett McBride, second. Scott Eckrich taking 2 tires onto that number 70 machine. Going to get his way all the way up to the 3rd position. Jake Wright in, that's going to be 5th. And Drew Carroll 6th. I miss Dan Murray up there in 4th. So Craig Stykes going to lead him down here. And he's going to be into the restart zone and away. Green flag back into the air here at New Hampshire. And Stykes this time gets a big jump.
Man, Will Worsler was going to go down at the bottom there. I wasn't so sure if he was 100% clear, but he was going to cup down to the inside, but I don't think he was clear. Right now he's batting on the outside of that 54 machine up there. Oh, no!
He's going to keep it out of the fence, though.
Yeah, he scraped it, but it's not going to hurt him too bad.
And that's not going to bring up a caution. He's still rolling. I think he just got onto the gas a little too quick. We were talking about that at the start of the show. You get on that gas pedal just a little too quick on corner exit, and that's what's going to happen.
Yes, sir. And we talked about turn 2. That turn 2 is a nail biter at New Hampshire here, folks. Especially higher the temperature, the more the slicker the racetrack is, the cooler the temperatures, the more grip in the racetrack you got, and you'll feel like Superman.
Ooh, Eckrich gets real high into the middle of the corner, opening the door for Jake Wright. They're going to be side by side off of the corner for second. But Loudon it's a unique track because you can blow or completely miss the center of the corner. But because the top lane is so preferred, you can get such a great shot out of turn 2. It's kind of like running at Kansas, where you really keep that up near the fence and keep the engine wound up. And a huge hole shot out of the corner.
Exactly, and before the dynamic tracks were even ever implemented in iRacing, it was always usually that bottom lane down there, not closer to line, but it was always that bottom lane. Ever since dynamic tracks came along, I mean, there's been multiple grooves around the racetrack.
Let's see here, you see side by side. Where's that at? It's up there. Yeah, there you go. Drew Carroll getting up to the 4th position. So I'm listening to some chatter in the race server. '63 blinking is the report. Jared Livingston having some internet issues. Pierre Daigle, our in-race admin, reporting that that was a bit more of a serious issue. And, put it out! It's Cohan. Wait. No, that was Cadell? Oh, and he was supposed to be the lucky dog. He was going to get back to 1 lap down, but Oh, Thompson! Oh, golly. Here we go, on board the Airman machine. You see Cadell get real loose, and it tries to... Oh. Did it... I don't see any more damage. Did they hit? Or was it real close?
They may have made contact. I mean, I know there's... Man, that's a tough call to make right there.
That's close.
Very.
Ooh, just a hair. But Cadell, with a bunch of the leaders are pitting. Not all of them are pitting. I don't think he's going to get the lucky dog. That should go to. Nope, because they're fried.
There's no lucky dog, actually.
Nope, because the guy that was in the position for it brought out the caution.
Yep, or had some kind of car contact.
Yep.
Or some kind of contact that iRacing picked up.
All right, so Dan Murray, Brandon Minnick, John Hensley, Tommy Ryan staying out on the track. Off of pit road, you've got Rich Jetty, Ricky Harden, Jake Wright, Scott Eckrich, Jeff Ryan, Craig Stykes. I have a feeling we got some more 2 tires, 4 tires stuff going on back here.
I think there is, and right now, I mean, why not try the 2-tire strategy and see where it gets you?
You got to see when it works. I mean, you got to try it sometime.
Exactly.
Hensley hitting pit road this time.
That's a bonus point under Dan Murray's belt towards the championship.
Not that he needs it, but it's there.
It's there. Everything counts, in my opinion. Brandon Minnick, Tommy Ryan, Rich Jetty, and Harden, the top 5.
Harden, the first one out on 2 tires. Jake Wright, Scott Eckrich, 4 tires. Craig Stykes, 4 tires. Jeff Ryan, Robert Barney, 2 tires, and the rest for 4.
Scott Eckrich, you said was 2 tires, eh?
4 tires.
4 tires.
Scott Eckrich. Yeah, 2 tires the last time. That bought him some track position, so still a net gain.
Still, yes.
I would be curious to see how those tires are wearing, though. I wish we could pay somebody for some intel.
You know, I wish there was some kind of way in iRacing where you can actually see that.
Well, there's a way, but it doesn't work for us broadcasters.
Unfortunately.
In the server, yes, there's a way.
See Rich Jetty coming down back pit road.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
Okay, so that'll drop him towards the back of the field. So 1 to green, Brian. Since Rich Jetty's down pit road, how if we get her reset and fired up and ready to go? Dan Murray on top of the board, Brandon Minnick, Tommy Ryan, Ricky Harden, and Jake Wright rounding out to that top 5. I'm keeping an eye. I'm going to circle him right now. Scott Eckrich.
Just slowly lurking, just kind of like Jaws, just waiting to strike. But right now, the guy in control of this is our Daytona 300 winner from the season, or from the first race of the season. Dan Murray stretched the fuel a couple weeks ago back at Michigan, brought home his second win of the year. And Dan loves these short track sort of races, so another one right into his ballpark. But here we go. Ford Mustang pace car is off, and Dan Murray is away. Big jump. Brandon Minnick did not go on the top side, and that's bottling everybody up heading off into turn 1.
He did not go, but good job by everybody else on not running into each other on the racetrack. And as they come off turn number 2, side by side for second place on back.
And a footnote that I missed, Nick Cohan disconnected from the server, so apparently that damage from the earlier wreck, too much to continue. He is...
Jeff Ryan.
Ooh, that's gonna be tight for Cohan.
Oh, Minnick!
Oh, Minnick! He's got Eckrich with him. Into the wall. Put it out. Oh, there's more cars. Pilarski.
Oh, dear Lord.
Oh, my. What happened? And then there was the initial wreck, and then there was a whole bunch of other stuff that happened. So Minnick, and he comes out onto the track.
The contact happened down in turn 4 before they were completely off the turn there, Brian.
Jeffrey Gilliam got a part of that. The 55. John Hensley got a part of that. Here comes Thompson. Did he miss one finally? Here we go. Here you're going to see that there's the initial wreck, and here's where the track's going to get blocked. Here we go. He just stops. Good job, Rick. Just stop on the track.
That works, right?
It works. And just like I was talking about before we jumped onto that.
Boy, oh boy.
Nick Cohan left, but now I see him back, connected to the server again. He is 5 laps down. Probably going to be 6 laps down. I think he's having some kind of technical issues tonight. Did you see Eckrich on pit road?
I'm curious if we can get an onboard of James Krahula, because something happened there with Krahula, and I'm not seeing any damage of it. This will shock you, Brian. This will shock you.
I'm just seeing his car go down pit road right now. I don't see a nick on that 24 machine.
Well, if we once our director gets up on the replay, you'll understand what I'm trying to say.
All right, let's watch here. Here we go, Krahula on the low side. You're going to start to see the stack up coming here out of turn 4.
Okay, there's smoke.
Yep, there's a bit of rubber bouncing off the camera.
Watch this.
Oh! Whoa, boy!
And no damage? Got lucky there.
You know, sometimes I'd rather be lucky than good. That might be one of the... Although he is sitting on pit road, so I do wonder if he's got some damage. I mean, the car looks great, but I don't... He's just sitting there on pit road. Maybe he's changing his underwear. I don't know.
It could be, but I mean, I look at this car after that happened. I'm like, how is there no damage on that number 24 car?
He's still in the machine. You're going to go a lap down here. He is going to go a lap down, so maybe that car is beaten up more than what we saw.
I think there's a problem with his engine. It could be because if he's when he catches up, gets back on the track, and he's down in horsepower, because here he comes right now out of pit road.
I think he got hit, but yeah. So
I think there is. I think you're right, Brian. I think there is damage.
So now
just can't see it.
And pardon my voice squeaking there. This is going to get interesting here because now James Krahula has had a bad night. He is running in the 23rd position. Nick Cohen is 29th. These are guys that needed a solid run to continue their championship hopes. I mean, Krahula was 16 markers up. Well, he's got to really rebound. Cohen was 17 markers up.
Yeah, and I think those from Krahula and Hardin and Rich Jetty, you want to throw Tommy Ryan and Cohen in that mix as well. I mean, go right ahead. I think those guys, they just needed a solid finish, but with a 30-car field in this race tonight, and you're finishing towards the back like that, that's losing a lot of points. So let's just say, what if Filarski and Thompson? Well, we've seen Thompson hit and miss there at times, but Filarski as well. If those guys finish up towards the front, they gain points on those guys ahead. That's about 15 points right there, maybe more.
Yeah, it's going to get interesting here. We still got 119 laps to go. Where's Filarski running? He was caught up in that. And he's sitting 28th. So now oh man, this is going to get good. All right, anyways. Pace car going to be looking to get out of the way. Dan Murray in control of the field yet again. And he's away. Green flag back into the air here at New Hampshire. And he gets a great jump. The leader here at New Hampshire, more than anywhere else, seems like he can really get a good jump on the field. Tommy Ryan going to be under fire from Jake Wright.
3 wide.
Turns 1 and 2. 3 wide. Jeff Ryan. Got Robert Barney on the bottom. He made it out of the corner.
I mean, it's great to see Jeff Ryan running up front in the top 10 like that, but hopefully he doesn't make any contact. I do see him sometimes when he gets in the gas, he washes up the racetrack.
Little contact there between Jake Wright and Tommy Ryan. Nothing that really upset the two of them, just more so disrupted the momentum.
Looking on back here, yeah, that's second place is heating up. Tommy Ryan looking for that run off the corner of turn number 2.
Craig Stike's going to take advantage of it too. Oh, there goes Jeff Ryan down the backstretch. Spun down, not going to bring out a caution.
Oh, he's got damage on that thing.
I think he found that little barrier that jets out back there.
Actually, I don't think he hit really too much of anything.
Oh, there, just a little kiss. Someone that was wishing that brought out a caution was James Krahula, because now he's in the lucky dog position.
Yeah, we get another caution here. We'll be getting that lucky dog, and that's actually going to be a good thing for Krahula. Way back here, just riding it now. Krahula here, I wonder if we can get his speed. See if he has any kind of engine troubles.
Yeah, he's about a 10th off the lead, so I think the engine's fine.
Yeah. Well, then he got lucky with that incident.
Yeah. Huh.
Very lucky.
Side-by-side battle was shaping up there for the 5th position. Drew Carroll had it. Josh Parker wanted it. They thinned out coming out of turn 2. Carroll riding the momentum from the top side.
Yeah, Drew Carroll starting to make some noise entering the top 5 here. Just ahead of him, Jake Wright. Behind Carroll, you got Josh Parker in that 81 car.
Well, Parker's starting to make some noise. The Talladega winner. Talladega. I said it wrong again. Talladega.
Talladega.
Talladega winner.
I still call it Hallowdega.
Hallowdega. Quick note, just getting up into the top 10. Number 2 machine, our pole setter, Rich Jetty. He had that spin out of turn 2, but he's rebounded nicely. Did I say Jetty? I meant McBride.
Oh, front stretch.
Oh, who's that on the front stretch? Hart. No caution. I think he just got real squirrely off of the corner.
What a save, though. What a save. That was dirt tracking it, baby. He's ready for hashtag dirt. Watch
dirt
this.
Wow.
Look at that. Look, he's wheeling and dealing that thing.
Save of the year.
And, folks, that's a 3,400-pound race car. And you're wheeling and dealing it like that.
Danced off of the corner. Still out front, Dan Murray. Tommy Ryan, though, getting closer.
And you talked about Rhett McBride. What a nice recovery from that number 2 car. And as of late, in the last how many races, Brian, he's been really consistent. And he's already cracked back up in the top 10 after starting to pull.
He's getting there, but battle for the lead right now. Tommy Ryan going to take it away from Dan Murray with a power move from the bottom of the track. Dan Murray going to be under fire from Craig Stykes. Here comes Stykes with a run off of the corners. Josh Parker has a wiggle off of turn 4.
What a run by Stykes on the bottom of the racetrack like that. And
that thing got hooked up.
It did get hooked up, and he's about to take second place away from Murray, and he does.
He does. Jake Wright falling back a little bit. He's back under fire from... Whoa, Robert Barney was sideways. I read the side of that car from my position back here. He was sideways off of the corner.
Man, oh man, that turn 2's good.
Pull up a quick replay. You'll see what I mean. I just glanced up at the top of the screen, and I fully read Winn-Dixie down the side of that. Back just a little bit more.
Hashtag save of the year, probably.
I think just wait and watch.
Well, I mean, he's in competition with Ricky Harden, who's just ahead of him, so I don't know.
Look at that. Full side.
Wow.
We're back.
That, man.
Look at this gaggle of cars. Dan Murray falling back into the clutches here of Drew Carroll, Tim Johnston, Jake Wright, Travis McQuestion. Who's that? Rhett McBride. Fine in the back of that pack.
Almost reminds me of Chicagoland last week on Wednesday night on a broadcast I did with all them trucks all in one big pack. Jake Wright stuck on that high side, not the position where he really wants to be.
The problem is you just can't get that thing wound down from the top. I mean, you can make the top work, but here's the other thing to keep in mind.
Oh, maybe 3 wide, McQuestion.
Oh, McQuestion going to be looking to get aggressive here. I'm going to look at the tire strategy and see where guys have headed, but right now, McQuestion's on fresh tires, so is Tim Johnston.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the longest green flag run that we've had all night here, Brian.
I believe you're correct. They're 44 laps down, 107 to go here at New Hampshire.
Now, I'm telling you, the tires can't mean a whole heck of a lot right now because Tommy Ryan, it's been about 28 laps since he was down pit road. According to my thing, it's 30, but that's including caution laps. So he's on weaker tires than Craig Stykes, Josh Parker, Drew Carroll, and Tim Johnson, which is all in the top 5. And so far, he's pulled away from that number 81 machine of Josh Parker.
And really, the fall-off hasn't been that bad. You're right.
It's not.
31 laps since he last pitted. Best time he ran tonight was a 30.56. Last time by was a 30.88. So 3/10, or just over half of a fuel run. That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
And these guys probably a lot of ideas for the end of this race, especially if the cars are as loose, as they have been. It wouldn't surprise me if there was a caution with 20 to go to see a whole bunch of guys take right sides only to try to tighten up their cars. You see Rut McBride underneath Dan Murray. That car's sliding back like a rock. He just got no grip in that machine.
Fastest car on the racetrack last time by at the line was Josh Parker, a 30.743. He's only a 10th quicker than Tommy Ryan.
Little bits add up to big bits. That's how you kind of have to chunk out time here. Ooh, Ricky Hart, another big wiggle off of the corner. Dan Murray continuously under fire here. Here's Will Warsler going to the inside.
Yeah, you got a big pack of cars.
Slide job didn't quite work. Not going to quite have him cleared off the corner. Here comes Murray from the top side with that momentum, but I think this time down here in 3, I think he just rolls out of it a little early and gives the position up to Will.
Comes Chris Westerfield on the bottom side of the racetrack, trying to get a spot away from Dan Murray. It looks like Murray will get the run on exit. Murray will beat Westerfield to the line as they head back down to turn number 1.
You see Westerfield, getting around. Ricky Hart, poking the nose of that machine under. Trying to get a run off the corner. Man, Murray going to try to close the door here.
Man, Ricky Hart making me nervous just a little bit. That front end of the race car just wiggled just a tick coming off turn number 2. And I seen that front end of the car wiggle, but...
That car's been wiggling the whole race.
Look at that. Did it again off turn 4.
Wheeling it. It's playoff time. That's what happens. And he's going to try to get the position. Yeah, Dan Murray needs tires on that machine. It's 35 laps, and his tires have not worn nearly as good as Tommy Ryan's.
No, he's been dropping like a rock, Dan Murray is, and right now he's falling in line on Hardin. He's going to dive to the bottom side of the racetrack here, but whoever's on that outside line might get the run. Actually,
here comes Dan Murray to pit road.
There he goes.
Green flag stop, not ideal. It gets it wound down. That's 35. That's about 10 short on fuel. He was try to short pit. I mean, we've seen Dan try the oddball strategy. He's not afraid to think out on his own branch.
Yeah, he was in 11th position when he pitted. Coming down pit road here. Don't overshoot your pit box. 4 tires on that machine and go. And gas.
Unfortunately, though, you look at Josh Parker, Craig Stykes, Drew Carroll, and Tim Johnson, even a couple other guys, they were just on pit road the last time. They could go probably another 15 to 20 laps on fuel. So that tire wear is really going to have to be good for Dan to try to keep that machine up there and get a net gain.
Yeah, and I don't know. That's what's the race leaders headed on now? Tommy Ryan's actually 35 laps on tires, actually.
It wouldn't surprise me to see these guys on Tommy Ryan hitting pit road probably within the next 10 or so.
Yeah. Man, this pit strategy is just making me think and all that. And I'm sorry if I'm being silent or anything, but I'm just so interested in these pit strategies, man. It's like, okay, who's doing what?
Everybody's kind of thinned out here. Closest battle I can see is between McBride and McQuestion.
Hey, McBride, man.
Battling out for the 7th position.
Yeah, McBride having a tremendous day. Even though he spun, but he's back in the top 10. He's in good position.
Got just to the bumper there, and McQuestion just lets him go. It's early enough to say, you know what? You guys go on faster. I'll follow. Maybe I can learn something.
And that's courtesy racing right there.
Well, and it's also, they're on the same fuel strategy. Barney sideways again off the corner. You see that red machine getting real low off of it.
How many times is that now? I lost count.
That's at least 4 by my math.
Man, we got a big gaggle of cars behind Barney here. That's Troy Hayden on back. Right behind Troy Hayden is the number 7 of Ridge Jetty.
Battle for the lead's probably going to be shaping up here. Josh Parker is into Tommy Ryan's lead little by little, lap after lap. Just like what you were talking about, Tanner. Half a tenth, tenth a lap. But now he's there. So if you're in Tommy Ryan's position, what do? Do you short pit or do you let him pass you and then pit?
Well, if I'm out front right now, I would just try to. I would just try to keep, try to keep tabs and see what everybody else is doing. But as soon as the guys behind me pit, I need to be down pit road, because the longer I stay on that racetrack and those guys get out of the track and they're turning laps, the more I'm going to lose time to those guys. And if you lose too much time, and it gets down towards the end of the race, it might be too late to catch back up with the tires that you have. So it's a very tough call. I would try to stick with the guy up the front runners.
Apologize for the little technical gremlin there. We had a little bit of a red quality bar of death. We're back now. Life is good.
Life is good, but we got a battle for the lead shaping up here, Brian. Here we go.
Parker really drove that into the middle of the corner. He had to back out of it just a little to let Ryan, to make sure he just didn't plow up into the left rear of Ryan right there. But now Parker going to be falling in line here. He's going to try to get a run here out of turn 2.
Oh.
Just not quite close enough. Going to poke the nose out again, but nope, going to fall back in line.
So hard to pass here in New Hampshire. It just is. I mean, it's really. Oh, we got fishtailing it off the corner of turn number 4. It's okay for now.
These boys are driving it.
They are. Oh my goodness. Here we go, Parker.
Pretty much the same lap time across the top 3. Seriously, a 26 to a 23 to a 22.
Man, he gets that run in the middle of the corner, but he's got nowhere to take it.
Correct. He just gets to the middle.
Oh, here we go.
So good. Now you're going to try to poke the nose down here going into 1. This is where that good run through the middle might pay off. Here he goes.
And he got around him.
Josh Parker to the lead.
Crossover. Nope. Too little, too late. Close the door.
Knows that the tires, they got about a 10 lap difference on tires.
Yes,
sir. Ryan is wise enough to know that that's not a battle worth contesting right now.
How long? Hold on. How long was he out, Ryan? Tommy Ryan? I know he's about 10 laps.
45 laps since he last pitted.
Okay,
with a couple caution laps sprinkled in there, so he can probably go another 5 or so.
Okay, so you lost the lead right now, and now you're going to lose a tenth, maybe a little bit each lap. But you got guys like Craig Stykes, Drew Carroll, and Tim Johnston. Those 3 cars are single file, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. They're catching you right now, and you're in 2nd. So I would try to get down pit road.
I think our director and I saw the same thing. Drew Carroll getting that thing sideways out of turn 2. Good opportunity for Carroll, too. He's up there in the points. He really doesn't have a whole lot to worry about from the...
Oh, we got something in the back.
Norman, caution is out. Put it out.
Oh.
Storman.
Well, that takes away some strategy.
That makes that about even.
It does, and Dan Murray will receive the lucky dog, Brian.
Yeah, so not really a net win for him. I mean, Gabe's gonna get back onto the lead lap, but now he's lost the position that he was in. So, but Dan Murray going to get your Coastal Safety Auditors Lucky Dog Award. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services. This time, Dan brings the good dog treats to Brutus.
Yes, he does, but, I mean, this gives the opportunity, this lucky dog, though, for Dan Murray, gives him the opportunity, when pit road opens for him, to take 4 fresh tires, because you still got a little ways to go in this race yet. We're lap 61 out of 150, so you know you're going to make another pit stop, go down pit road, get 4 fresh tires, and go pretty much go from there. That's what I would do.
Yeah, 60, well... I think it's still a 2-stop race, no matter which way you slice it, because if you get 40, that puts you like 105. Ooh, that could be a real close last run. But we'll worry about that when we get there. Whole field going to be heading down to pit road. That's going to even everybody out. I imagine 4 tires and full tank of Sunoco race fuel for everybody.
Yes, sir.
I've got my eyes on Parker. Hits his marks in his box beautifully. Right sides are up. It's a beautiful camera angle from Dougie Beard. Good thing I forgot to give a shout out to in the pre-race.
Dougie Beard does some amazing camera work for every single track on iRacing. It just blows me away.
He does good work. But here comes Josh Parker winning the race off of pit road. Craig Stykes getting the advantage. Going to get up there to second. Tommy Ryan third. Drew Carroll fourth. And Tim Johnston up to fifth. So with that being said, we're going to let the field get sorted out. We're going to take a quick break and come back to you on the other side for some more green flag action here at the Coastal Safety Auditors 150. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Coastal Safety Auditors 150 here at New Hampshire. We're just fresh out of pit road. Gonna turn these boys loose here again on the track. Josh Parker, Craig Stykes, Tommy Ryan, Drew Carroll, your top four with Tim Johnston, Jake Wright up there, Brett McBride. Keep an eye on that number 2 machine as Josh Parker is going to be looking to get away. Going to stack the field here a little bit. Green flag back in the air, but that restart, oh boy, he brought him down slow, and people weren't anticipating him to come down slow. That's going to really stack him up heading off here into turn 1.
Man, that might have brought damage to some cars.
Tommy Ryan got a great run through the middle of 1 and 2, but just couldn't go anywhere on it with corner exit. Drew Carroll going to let Tommy Ryan up.
Yeah, back single file now coming off turn number
4. So of footnote, Jonathan Goodell, Rick Thompson, and James Krahula all praying for a quick caution here because they took the wave around. Need a caution here, probably within about 5 laps.
the way these guys are fishtailing off the corner and racing side by side. You might get it.
Contact between Worsler and Johnston. They keep it pointing the right direction, though.
Johnson to get the better run off. Looks like Rhett McBride's going to go with Johnson on the higher line.
McBride going to storm up to the top side. I don't think we've heard the last of that. Worsler blinked out there. I don't think we've heard the last driver of that number 2 machine here just yet. My eye back through the pack. We're on board here with Rhett McBride as he's going to get the position. Going off into turns 3 and 4. Worsler driving it on the bottom. Making that thing hook up. That was a great run to the exit of the corner. And he's going to slide up.
Oh, huge run by McBride.
Here comes the crossover. That's what I was talking about. You can get that car really wound up on the top side. But now he's going to try to make it stick on the bottom, and I don't think he's going to have anywhere to go.
Side by side off turn number 2. Worsler versus McBride. Looks like McBride had a better run off turn number 2 as Worsler may have gotten just a tad loose on that higher line.
Worsler taking a real high stance. I think he's got the... He gave up. Excuse me, gave up the position there.
Yeah, gave up the position there. That's going to move.
Christian was looking to poke the nose down. You know, you got to be an opportunist. If big doors open, you got to try to put your foot in there.
Yes, sir. Just got to be wise about the decisions on any racetrack. Really, at any racetrack, which most of these drivers usually do.
Mostly. There is such thing as the red mist of war, and no, I'm not talking about Storm and Norman Pelletier's team.
We use those terms. Man, everybody's now fanned out now, single file, not really seeing any side-by-side battles on the racetrack as right now. Worsler's actually washed up the track. He might be getting under attack back there from Travis McQuestion.
Yeah, McQuestion, the other member of that Pelletier McQuestion Motorsports or Speedworks.
Ricky Hart right behind Travis McQuestion.
Ricky Hart getting a good run to the inside. Side by side going off here into turn 1. McQuestion's going to eke out on the top, but Hard's going to try to make that run through the bottom. Not going to quite work. McQuestion going to block again, serving as a cork in front of Ricky Hart.
That's what makes it so difficult to get around New Hampshire Motor Speedway, Brian. And are we going to go 3 wide here? Nope. McQuestion thought better of it.
He did. Wait, he's got a white car with red wheels. I'm not making that joke. Just look at the car and y'all can... all right, everybody get it? Good. Anyways, I've lost my mind tonight, folks.
The red ring of death, I was going to say, because he's got Xbox on the front of the hood. But anyways, I'm not going to go into detail about all that.
No.
But Ricky Hart...
the question.
Yeah, there we go.
To get to the bottom. Oh, God, get to the bottom.
I'm an Xbox guy, so I'm not going to rip on any Xbox jokes here, but...
we got to get off this battle. I can't focus now. And of course, it's the only battle happening on the track.
But hey, in that mix right there with the mix of cars, Brian, Rich Jetty started 25th, up to 12th and all that. He needs a good run. So far, he's kept the car clean pretty much throughout the race. 2 more spots until he clinches the top 10, and that'll put a smile on Jetty's face, I'm sure.
Well, and remember, Jetty had that EOL penalty to start the race. I think there was some kind of infraction from Chicagoland that really got him under fire. But Drew Carroll going to get the position away, jumping up to the 3rd position, away from Tommy Ryan.
And, yep, Tommy Ryan. Like he'll lose that spot to Drew Carroll, falling back in the line. Right behind him, you had Jake Wright, who's been in the top 10 mix all race long. Just hasn't been battling for the lead at all.
And I just caught up. We had a pit reporter catch up with Scott Eckert for comment after his race, and his comment was FJDSK. Basically, he just typed the top letter of the key, just randomly over and over again. So that's his official quote for the evening.
Gibberish.
Yeah, basically. Josh Parker still your leader. Craig Stykes still 2nd. We just saw Drew Carroll take the 3rd position away from Tommy Ryan. I wonder if Carroll, it's been a while since he got a win. Wondering if he's going to try to...
He's been quiet in his chase, surprisingly.
He's been very quiet but very methodical. And
Yes.
that's the important part. He's 28 markers up. He's mathematically pretty much, at this point now, he's mathematically locked into the points chase. Even if he falls out of the race right now, we only started 30th. The worst he would finish would probably be either 27th. The worst he would finish would probably be about 25th. So he's good.
Yeah, he's good, with Drew Carroll, we've seen Scott Eckert versus Drew Carroll throughout at the regular season, Brian. But since the chase started, he's been quiet, but he's automatically, or mathematically, not automatically, but mathematically, as he gets really loose off turn number 2, he's mathematically locked into the next round. But I still look for Drew Carroll to make some sort of excitement in these next upcoming races, maybe tonight, as, wow, Tommy Ryan, huge run in the middle of the corner of the racetrack. He might be he might go under attack here underneath Drew Carroll. But yeah, Carroll, he's known for producing excitement, Brian.
Unfortunately for the guys that took the wave around, it's not going to quite work out, because here they come to pit road.
Oh, no.
Jonathan Cadell and James Krahula, they both stretched that fuel as far as they could take it. And as Pierre points out to me, that Carroll's last win was at the quote-unquote rain-shortened event at Iowa.
Oh, that was some time ago.
Back in June. So now here's the flip side to the strategy for Krahula and Cadell. They really need a green flag run, because the leaders have 20 laps on fuel this run, and they're coming off a pit road right now full of fuel and got 4 fresh tires. So either way, I think they're going to be either in a position, if a caution comes out now, they're going to be able to take the wave around and get back up there. We see Rick Thompson on screen, just motoring through the night, because he's got a number. I think Rick Thompson is now in the chase and Filarski is out. Just from that standpoint, I'm not quite sure where Cohan falls into that. I think he still might be safe, because if Filarski or Rick Thompson is 23rd, I still think Cohan might be safe.
I'd say this: Thompson has to beat Filarski.
That's the easiest way to figure it out.
Yes.
If Thompson beats Filarski, then it's on. But here's the other thing. He got Don Runkle Jr. up there in 20th. Don Runkle is beating Rick Thompson. He's got to beat him by 3 points. And you see, Don is really rising to the occasion here tonight.
He definitely has. Don Runkle, yeah, he's actually, where's Rick Thompson? Thompson, that's 3 positions. God, they're tied right there. They're probably tied right there, but yet Rick Thompson is actually 2 laps down, but position 3 is under battle.
Yes, it is. Not Rick Thompson. Tommy Ryan. Tommy Ryan got the position back from Carroll, so moved Carroll back down a spot, and now Carroll is going to be under fire from Jake Wright. Now, here's the thing. This is the sort of race that Tommy Ryan thrives in. I know we talk about it a lot throughout the season. Tommy Ryan is a real no-frills sort of guy. He could go out there and just get the job done very silently. And then by the end of it, he's kind of like a virtual Matt Kenseth. By the end of the race, you're going, wait, I got to deal with him now? Where'd he come from?
I'm just so used to Tommy Ryan being in 3rd all the time.
Well, there he is right now. It does actually kind of look like a Matt Kenseth car. Unfortunately, Ryan's from Carolina, not Wisconsin, or else that would have been perfect.
Yeah, I'm from Wisconsin. I know my boy Matt Kenseth. I mean, I'm not a hardcore Kenseth fan, but I mean, I'll watch him.
Well, yeah, because he races every Sunday.
Yep. Well, okay, Paul Menard, if you want to add him in there too.
Yeah, Paul Menard.
But I mean,
as actually been pointed out to me, Nick Cohen back on track. If he can, because Eckridge, he's going to pass Eckridge. Eckridge's still sitting on pit road. So there goes Cohen up one more spot, and I think he's going to run enough laps to, I think, probably overcome Randy Yoakum. Going to need somebody to fall out here in the next little bit in order to gain another spot, but I think that might be all he needs to advance, because, like I said, Don Runkle up there in 20th. He's only lost, let's see, 6 points.
Right.
I still think Cohan's all right.
In the highest position I think Cohan is going to finish today is 25th, because he's going to have to make up dang near 50 laps to reach 24th. Or
He needs
actually,
another.
less
He
than
needs
that,
another
but-
big wreck to happen.
Right.
And a whole bunch of people will see meatball flags.
Well, Cohan just got a position on Scott Eckrich for the 26th position. Eckrich still remains down pit road, repairing all the damage. But Cohan on track as of right now. Now he has to gain 7 laps on Randy Yoakum, who's 50 laps down, as Cohan is 57.
He'll get there 7 more laps because I don't see that Yoakum machine moving at all. He was caught. I think there was smoke trailing out of that machine at one point.
Yeah, he's down pit road right now, and if there was smoke out of that machine, he's pretty much done for the race. 31 minutes is approximate time to get a new engine in that car.
And then plus any other potential required damage. I've had
Exactly.
40 minutes of required repairs one time. I don't know how I did that, but
I
it
had
happened.
40, it was either 44 or 43 minutes one time.
You must have hit something hard.
I did. It actually flipped and landed on its wheels, and the car was still running, but it was smoking.
Huh. It's a real Joey Chitwood sort of finish. As you see on track, Troy Haight, he's just got past Murray. Well, how does that all shake out? So right now, Krahula's still in the position for the Coastal Safety Auditors Lucky Dog Award.
He will be, actually, as long as Runkle doesn't go a lap down.
That's. I was just going to point that out. Don Runkle Jr. and Jeff Ryan. Runkle is 22 seconds, about 8 seconds away from being lapped, and Jeff Ryan is about 10 seconds away from being lapped.
Hey, you talk about fresh tires and eating up that bottom, man. James Krahula really ate up that bottom.
Krahula's running some pretty, actually competitive lap times. He's running a 31 flat in traffic, compared to the leaders running a 31.18 in by themselves.
Well, iRacing gave him a break earlier on that front stretch incident, so...
Well, he did lose a lap, but it could have been way worse.
It could have, exactly.
Filarski back on track as well, so that might be something worth noting because Filarski and Cohan are separated by 1 lap, and they're right next to each other on the track. As Filarski's machine kind of looks like a bootleg Outlaw Modified. It typically runs Saturday night on the Global Sim Racing channel. Shout out to Sean Ambrose hanging out in the chat. He runs a pretty tight ship over there on Saturday nights.
Where's Rick Thompson showing at? Oh, he's back there and 2 laps down.
23rd.
So this is the way I see it. Thompson's in, Filarski out, points-wise.
I believe you're right. If I'm looking at it right, I think that's
Yes,
how
sir.
that's going to shake out for right now.
That makes us easiest when it's 1 point, actually a couple points gaps between, actually it's 1 point gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it a little easier.
But I will say, probably the only good idea Brian Francis had. Yeah, no, I'll give that one to Mike Helton. That was Mike Helton's idea. So Brian Francis is still 0 for 700.
Got me beat. So actually the race right now, points-wise, we would have to keep an eye on Hardin, see how many points he loses today, and Filarski, Thompson, and Don Runkle.
Actually, I don't think this is going to be as much of a fuel mileage race as we were talking because the leaders are on 32 laps right now. They can go 48. We're on lap 94, so I think it's a one-stopper from here on out.
I believe it is as well. 57 to go.
Unless we get a caution on lap 50. Hintity,
46
hint,
to 48.
Come on,
And
field. Somebody wreck on lap 50.
Man, if they can stretch it out, I think they should be okay if they make it to the end. What you think? 56 laps to go. It's been about, well, last time they were on pit was 33 laps to go, but if you want to include a caution laps in that, say about 31 laps there, Brian, they can stretch it about 10 more laps. I think you can stretch it to the end.
I believe you're right. I'm kind of looking around at the top 5 right now. Pretty much everybody's running right about on top of each other speed-wise. Jake Wright getting a position from Drew Carroll.
Well, my green bar still shows Krahula the fastest car, obviously, with those 4 fresh tires. But, yeah, everybody's on top of each other on lap times. It's so even on lap times. Check this out. 31.426 to a 31.317, 31.314. I mean, the lap times are really close.
I told you, they're right on top of each other from that lap time standpoint. There you see Rhett McBride up there to the 7th spot, just I still think he's got something left in the tank for these boys by the end of this one.
Well, he was fourth fastest in practice, and he got the pole. So,
Oh,
we got a
Carroll!
spare. Carroll!
He keeps it going straight, though. Wow.
Oh my gosh, what a save!
That was almost as big as the announcement coming after the race.
He didn't even hit anything. I'm not even seeing any apparent damage on that right side. He may have scraped the wall.
Ah, he kissed it. He
Kissed it?
just knocked that right rear quarter panel in just a little bit. More aerodynamic.
Boy, he dodged that grass, though. So, Drew Carroll running in the 7th position in the aftermath of his little debacle off turn number 2.
Randy Yoakum has actually left pit road. So has Scott Eckridge. So all of the machines, we got 30 starters. We've got 28 still rolling.
That's not too bad. And bad news for James Krahula. Don Runkle Jr. just went 1 lap down.
And now Krahula needs this race to run out green. In order for that strategy to work, Rick Thompson and Randy Yoakum on pit road.
Let's see, Don Runkle Jr. is down in 3 and 4. James Krahula is on the backstretch.
There you see Don Runkle on screen.
Don Runkle
Obviously,
Jr.
He's a growing, not a showing.
Perfect track for Don Runkle, though.
It is. It's a perfect track. Our director doesn't realize the longer that we leave the camera on Don Runkle, the more jokes we're going to make. He hasn't figured that out over the last month he's been running that scheme.
Now it's zooming in, but...
There we go. Josh Parker out front. Craig Stike second, I think. Tommy Ryan just saying he was going to hit pit road. Oh, Don Runkle got way up out of the way.
Let's see here. Tommy Ryan, 40 lap. Oh, that is close.
I mean, I just saw his mic queued up. Oh, Don Runkle getting real high up there. That's a feeling he's used to, being high on the track.
Because he got high.
Snoop Doggy Don Runkle Jr.
I'm not seeing Tommy Ryan going down pit road just yet, but I would just try to stretch it out just a little bit, maybe like 1 or 2 more laps at least. 46 to 50 laps, Brian.
It's getting there.
We're in that window now.
49 laps to go.
We're in that window for...
I think as soon as, with the long run speed that Tommy Ryan has, I mean, maybe we'll see him throw it onto pit road. Who was that on pit road I just saw? Was that Filarski?
28's on pit road. That is Filarski.
Airman. Or no, not Airman. That's 76. Golly. Oh, Thompson blew up, according to our in-race reporter. That's going to hurt the championship.
That'll hurt him, yeah.
That front end damage finally gave up.
But that's big for Filarski. Actually, man, dead gone. Because Filarski is actually in the back. He's 8 laps down. Filarski is 60 laps down. And Nick Cohan, he ain't going to get that position back. So this is pretty much the finish right here, really, Brian.
It might be. I mean, I think Rick Thompson is 8 laps down. Filarski 60. This could get interesting.
It's going to get interesting. Yes, sir. Indeed. Rick Thompson, the worst he could probably finish is 25th, to where Filarski is 26th. So
I think we'll just have to see how the race unfolds.
They'll tie more than likely.
And I don't know what the tiebreaker is. Top 5s? 10s?
Maybe. Well, usually
I don't think we have that prepared in the rule book.
I don't think maybe it's not, but I mean, you would think it'd go by wins, but I don't think no driver has any wins. But I think then after that, it should go by maybe top 5 possibly.
Storm and Norman hitting pit road. I mean, the window's open now. You can make it to the end of the race.
Yep. You can make it to the end of the race.
Do you run this? I guess, do you run it out of fuel here, or do you try to short pit to gain an advantage? I'm not seeing tires really. I mean, right now, Josh Parker's best lap was a 32.7 to a 31.57. I mean, that's a second. So if you're Tommy Ryan, you're 3 seconds back. You could chunk some time out there, but
the tires are really consistent, Brian, because they're all in the ballpark of being on the same lap time. They're all over the place, like you said. So, since we're in the window now to where you can make it to the end, go ahead, pit now, gain that early advantage.
I think Ricky Harden heard what you said. He's on pit road right now for his final stop. Craig Sykes saying he's going to hit pit road.
There we go.
Jeff
They
Rhines,
heard me.
yeah, windows open. Tim Johnson, Rhett McBride all pitting. Look at what you started, Tanner.
Well, sorry, boys. If you want me to
Tommy Ryan hitting pit road.
All right, yeah.
It wound down. He got it.
Tommy hurt.
Everybody gets it wound down to pit road speed. Now, I would think that Parker's got to come in the next lap.
You have to.
I don't think you can afford to give up an advantage.
You have to.
Carroll, yeah, here comes the rest of the leaders are announcing they're going to hit pit road.
Yep.
Got my eye on Parker. He's working his way through 3 and 4 right now. He's coming in.
Everybody coming in. How about
speed?
Carroll?
Ooh, that
Parker, huh?
He hit the line at 52 miles an hour, and pit road speed's 45.
He just got it down, I think.
I think he's going to be all right.
I think he's all right. If he did get a penalty, he's going to have to stay in his pit box for 15 seconds.
Let's see. The left side's down.
There we go.
He's away.
No penalty.
Whew. No penalty on this side. Keep it at 45 miles an hour.
Drew Carroll on pit road. Jake Wright.
This has put Rich Jetty up to the lead. Getting a bonus point. Not a bad idea. Dan Murray second. Josh Parker still going to hang on. He's coming off a turn 2 now. Where's Ryan? Ryan is coming off a turn 2 now. So the gap, let's see, between the two of them, Ryan closed right. No, he stayed right about the same. 3 seconds. 3 seconds before, 3 seconds after.
Wow, they all heard me then. Holy cow.
So of that, Rich Jetty, Dan Murray, the only 2 of the top drivers right now that have yet to pit.
Did Rich Jetty take 2 tires on his last pit stop?
Rich Jetty took 4.
Okay.
According to what I can see down here, unless he had a 14-second 2-tire pit stop.
I'm reading a 6.5 pit stop.
I think that's like ARCA.
That's IndyCar right there, pit stop. But I mean, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but, yeah. Oh, I think he's coming into pit right now.
Now pretty much throw everybody back on the lead lap.
Yeah, as that's going to cycle out Dan Murray to the lead. He's still yet to make his final stop.
One driver.
And he says he's going to hit it pit road this time.
And one driver that's going to have to need a caution drastically is number 24, James Krahula there, Brian.
Yeah, he could go probably about another 18 laps on fuel. He needs a caution to get back onto the lead lap. Because right now, Robert Barney is the last car on the lead lap.
Krahula's coming off turn 2 right now.
Yeah, I mean, and Parker is working his way down the front stretch. So Krahula is safely on the lead lap.
But, you got that button there, though. He'll have to make another pit stop.
McQuestion and Jetty. What happened to them? Oh! Not going to bring out a caution. Looks like Jetty was getting wound up to speed. Oh no, Jetty was getting wound up out of the pits and McQuestion got loose on top. Why? He's coming out of pit road, minding his own business. And then, boom.
That was a hard lick, too, to Rich Jetty. Holy cow.
Bravo to both of the drivers for staying low enough on the track to not bring out a caution. I'm sure James Krahula is cursing the both of them right now.
Yeah, I mean, on a driver's perspective, yes. Yeah,
Jetty back onto pit road.
And Travis McQuestion apologizing over the radio about the incident.
I still think, Karen, what do you think? Do you think that caution flag's going to unfurl itself one more time?
I tell you what, we had a close call right there, but since everybody's pretty much spread out right now, here, Brian. I don't know if it's going to come out. I mean, I've seen cautions come out towards the end of the race like this before. It's a very tough call to really make, or to answer, I should say, but the way everybody's spread out right now, I don't think there is a chance for a caution unless something drastically happens.
Never quite know. Jetty leaving pit road. Parker, still your leader. He's got 53 laps led tonight, most laps led of any other driver out there. It's time to do a little AdvoCare through the top 10. If you're looking to add some spark to your life, AdvoCare gives you a full line of options from wellness and weight loss to those looking for a little more performance out of their active lifestyle. Please contact independent distributor James Krahula. Oh, caution is out, put it out!
Oh, front stretch.
Front stretch. Who's that stopped on the front stretch? 80. It's Yoakum? No. 82. Oh, Troy Haight.
Troy Haight.
I heard Haight and 8 sound an awful lot similar. So here we go. Oh! Yeah. Not much he could do there. Just got loose out of 4, I think.
He did. Just loose out of turn. Whoa. Just loose out of turn 4, and he just let that car hit the inside wall. And the
typically didn't let it hit the inside wall. It just kind of happened.
It just kind of happened, yes. But I didn't see the front wheels turn to the right to try to save it or anything. Hit the wall hard enough to have that car go sideways.
Leaders to pit road. That's going to put John Hensley, I believe, is our lucky dog.
It's either that or Gilliam.
Yeah, it's Hensley. That's how I'm seeing him right now. Nope, Gilliam's getting waved around, but we'll focus on that in a second. I want to know, 2 or 4 tires, what do these leaders take? You got 33 laps to go.
Gotta take 4.
Parker's taking 4.
I take 4. Harden 2.
Harden 2 tires.
McBride 2.
Ah, here we
Sitter.
go. This is where it's going to get interesting.
We are far east from Vegas to be gambling, boys, but I mean, technically you can gamble anywhere.
Oh, that's...
Brett McBride has modified?
Interesting. I see that on my screen, too. What happened to the 2 machine? We're going to figure that out. But anyways, we're going to go find... Gilliam. Thank you, Director. I'm completely absent-minded. Jeffrey Gilliam, getting your Coastal Safety Auditors Lucky Dog Award. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services. Gilliam, bringing them deep south dog treats. Those are some good ones down there from the state of Georgia.
I actually found out what happened to Rhett McBride on lap 109. He was coming up really quick on Calvin Filarski and hit Filarski in the back end of the car, and it took his whole bumper off.
That's
it looked like the slightest of contact, but the bumper just...
I wonder if that's just a weird graphics glitch.
Yeah, it could be.
On his end, he might... Yeah, on his end, it's probably just bent a little.
Right.
Remember, kids, as surprising as that be, we've got even a bigger surprise post-race for you. Remember, stay tuned after the driver interviews.
Yeah, I just checked back at the whole McBride again just to confirm, or just to see if it's 100% correct. And he did tap him in the back bumper, but it wasn't enough to damage the whole front bumper. So I think that's a glitch going on the iRacing service right now.
Tell you, Jeff Ryan's had an interesting caution. I just glanced up, and he actually kind of self-spun through 3 and 4.
I tell you what, we're about to go back green here, Brian, and I'll tell you what, that caution could not have helped nobody better than James Krahula.
He's up to place. The 10th position now. Let's see. So right now, Cadell, it's going to be a battle of Cadell, Runkle, and Ryan as the battle for the top. There's the lucky dog.
Lights back on.
Lights are back on. Some of the wave arounds are still coming around. Not a bad move from Pierre Deigel. Night and Degle, as Suzanne likes to say.
night.
So we've got Rhett McBride with 2 tires, Ricky Harden with 2 tires, and then you start getting into the 4-tire mafia of Josh Parker, Tommy Ryan, Tim Johnston, Craig Stykes, Jake Wright, Will Worsler, Drew Carroll, and James Krahula. Now you got 30. We're gonna have 30 laps to go here. 29 on the restart. If we get a caution in 10, what do you think they're going to come do?
2 tires.
2 tires?
2 tires, and I think some may stay out.
I would say 2 tires, no fuel, or stay out. No. I mean, we watched last night, Krahula again, or speak of the devil there. Last night he stayed out after 15 laps, and it was even overcast, and he dropped like a rock through the field. So I think you want some tires. It's just a matter of, do you want 4 or do you want 2? Or you can be weird and just take a right front, I guess. I mean, why not? iRacing gives you the ability.
I just come down pit road and just purposely miss my pit box.
And here comes McBride back into the restart zone, and he gets onto the loud pedal. Restart, green flag back into the air here at New Hampshire. He gets a good jump of Parker side by side with Harden, and Parker is going to have the position.
Oh, Harden had to check up.
Oh, and McBride closed the corner way up there.
Hang on to it, boys. Come on.
They got it. Here comes Ryan with a run from the top side. He's going to be side by side with Ricky Harden. Ryan is going to have the preferred position, and I think over the haul, he is faster than Josh Parker.
Wow. Okay, here's my prediction. We're not done with cautions yet.
Probably not. On board here with Tommy Ryan looking out towards the back. No, we're not. Of Ricky Harden. Ricky Harden going to come under fire here from Craig Stykes. Side-by-side battle back there for the 6th position between Jake Wright and Tim Johnston.
Man, oh man, we got a battle for lead shaping up here. Josh Parker's all over.
Sideways in the middle of the corner.
Worsler.
He got it pointed back the right direction, though. Excited to see what it'd be like to drift that thing.
I just asked Robert Barney.
A resident. Oh God, Harden is under. He's in a bee's nest. There's a pinata full of bees back there, and he's trying to swat them all away. But battle for the lead. Rhett McBride has it. Josh Parker has contact in 3 and 4. McBride's not going to stand for that. He's going to get the run back on the top side. Oh, Tommy Ryan gets real squirrely. Didn't see. A Northern Tool car got sideways off the corner, and I thought it was Ricky Harden.
Battle for a lead still on here, Brian. I mean, look at Josh Parker doing everything he can. Look like Rick McBride can actually get a better run off of turn number 2, and he does. He's
trying to hold that lead. God, they are stacking up back there behind Harden.
That's
Maybe
Jake Wright on back.
The way to go.
That's Jake Wright on back.
Tommy Ryan, he's an interested bystander here in this battle.
Here we go.
For the lead. Here comes Parker down to the low side. However, going up. Oh, and Rhett McBride lets him go. Try to cross him up.
Nope. Oh, nope. Tommy Ryan got close.
Yeah, Tommy Ryan.
Oh, Krahula on the bottom. On the very bottom, Krahula.
Made it work.
That got interesting back there.
Now, if you're Tommy Ryan, you need to get around that 2 machine as fast as possible before Parker really gets a good run and checks out. Like I said, I think Ryan is faster on the long haul, but he needs to get clear of that 2 machine.
Yeah, he's shooting for it right now.
Side by side off of 2. Rhett door. Ooh, that got close off the corner. Is Rhett going to back out of it? No, he's fighting for that position.
You can't back out of it right now. I mean, this is your opportunity to finish in the top 5.
And if you're Ryan, you're sitting there going, well, now wait, you let Parker have the lead. Why can't you let me have second? I think he's got the run now. I think Ryan doesn't. There he goes. McBride doesn't quite have the fight there.
I don't necessarily think McBride kind of let him have it. They did door down in 3 and 4.
Well, and I think Rhett is a smart enough driver to realize, hey, I got 2 tires versus 4. He's got 3/4 of a car on me. I really can't fight him back. So now, Tommy Ryan versus Josh Parker. That's going to be the battle for this one. Wright trying to get low of Stykes, but Stykes is going to have the run off the top side.
Yeah, I seen Wright making that bottom really work on entry of the corner, and he's still trying to work on Stykes. And so close. Not yet.
Quite. Back to the door. Here goes Stykes.
While that battle's going on, a couple cars. Oh, up the wall.
Sykes blows the corner. Gets way high. Now he's going to be under fire from Drew Carroll.
Yep, Drew Carroll. He's been pretty quiet in this top 10 since that restart. Drew Carroll trying to get underneath Sykes. Nothing yet. Down the backstretch. You want to... Oh, we got a spin in the back.
That's down on the backstretch. Or down on the low part of the track. Or was that just someone getting sideways? I don't see anybody stop.
I think that was Cadell, wasn't it?
Because if he hasn't had an eventful enough race tonight.
Yeah, yes, sir. That was Jonathan Cadell.
Oh, contact! Sykes sideways in the middle of the corner between Carroll. He keeps it straight. 3 wide off the corner. Tim Johnson's going to go on the bottom and get by.
Wow, that could have been big.
Sykes was wheeling it. There's the contact right there in the middle of the corner. How did he keep that thing pointed straight? Golly.
Wow.
I bet you Sykes wanting to get back up to the rear bumper of that 87.
He is, but he's got a lot of work to do it, though.
Well, I'm always saying I'm worth 2/10, man. I'm sure he's pretty ticked off right now as Harden gets real sideways. And Carroll makes a mistake. That's going to bring Johnston up there.
Yeah, Carroll actually got a little loose off turn number 2.
Battle for the 3rd position. Rhett McBride trying to hang on those 2 tires, but Jake Wright going to have the prevailing line here going down into the 1 and 2 corner. He's got it clear. So move Jake Wright up to the 3rd position. Ooh, Hart caught the wall a little bit out of turn 2.
Man, this is a beating wasp nest. Oh, 88.
Oh, pull it out!
Jeff Ryan involved with that one.
Jeff Ryan, the 55 machine. Unfortunately, that 55 machine is going to look like its real Sprint Cup counterpoint in Brian Scott. And you're going to see Hensley, I don't really think has anywhere to go.
Okay, we're in that window, Brian, and
well,
yeah.
17 laps to go. I'm thinking if you're Josh Parker, you're going to throw 2 on it.
Yeah.
Tommy Ryan?
2.
I don't know.
I'd say 2, all the way to Rhett McBride, 4.
No one's staying out. Jonathan Cadell is going to get the lucky dog finally. Get back onto the lead lap. We're going to give him the Dory Award tonight for just keep swimming. Josh Parker onto his pit stall. Right sides are up. Let's see if that drops and goes. 4 tires for Josh Parker. Who's going to brave it? Someone's going to try it.
Ryan.
Tommy Ryan, 2 tires. James Krahula, 2 tires.
Robert Barney,
2 tires. That's interesting. Anyway, Jonathan Cadell getting the Coastal Safety Auditors Lucky Dog Award. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services. Cadell now with some good dog treats, although his dog treats might be in a 12-ounce can, that may or may not have some adult beverages in it. I know a couple guys that gave their dogs beer. I've seen it. Stranger,
I've never done with mine. Mine's a good old healthy dog.
Dog will like beer.
He will, but I give him the water. More beer for me.
Nick Cohan calling it a night, but I think he's got enough laps. Where's he at? He is. All right, let's see here. He is 25th. Eckrich is still running, I think. No, Eckrich is back on pit road, maybe because of that. So he might lose a spot, but Calvin Filarski, Rick Thompson, I think Cohan is going to be safely in.
Well, all I know right now, when we go back green here, it's gonna be time to play, and it's gonna be time to get sideways.
there a Dierks Bentley song that says time to get a little bit sideways?
That is exactly where I got it from. It just popped in my head, and it's like, yep, that's going to happen.
We know Josh Parker has the speed. Restarting fourth, he might be he's either at an advantage or a disadvantage. If Krahula can get a good run, that would put Parker right up there side by side with Barney for third, and he'd have the high groove going through 1 and 2. But if Krahula doesn't get a good run, I almost think that's going to bury Parker too far back into the pack, and I have a feeling we might see a rash of cautions here.
And speaking of caution, the yellow flag was just waved out again to
the
call
wave
off.
rounds get back caught up. That's the 7 and Snoop Doggy Don Runkle Jr.
But that's going to help Ryan and Krahula and Barney because that gives them another lap.
Going to be restarting with 13 to go.
Oh boy. Well,
if you think this is thrilling, kids, wait till the announcement that we have after the race.
Oh yeah.
James told me to really hype this up throughout the event, and that's what I'm going to do because, if we can spend a whole week salivating over an announcement that ends up being a car, I think we can get it for an hour and a half.
Wink, wink.
I love you, iRacing.
All right, so this is going to be the one to go right here. Krahula is ready to go. As you can see, pulling up all over the back bumper of that pace car.
He rides right up to the back of that pace car. Come on, let me at him. Let me at him. Let's go.
Well, that's not a bad idea. I think that's a good test. I would say, hey, can I get a good restart by doing this? And he did it.
Yeah, I think if we get a green flag run to the end, I think it's going to come down to Parker and Ryan. If we get another caution, I think Ryan's got it.
I liked how that two-tire strategy held up on McBride at the time, but I think you're right. I think Parker's got it, but yet again, he's on the outside lane this time, and I think we're going to have one more yellow.
Well, that's why we pay attention here to watch the end of the race, folks.
All right, folks, get ready.
Here we go. Ford Mustang pace car going to be looking to get out of the way, give the field over to Tommy Ryan. And he's away. Green flag back in the air for Tommy Ryan. He gets a great jump. Krahula does not get a good start, and Josh Parker all over the rear bumper, shoving him down into 1 and 2. He's got to get going, but he's going to give up third to Barney.
Man, Parker may have, oh man.
Oh, here comes Parker to the inside. Side by side out of turn 3. Parker, he's got the 4 fresh feel goods. He's got to make it go while it's time. He's going to try to get Krahula.
Oh,
He overdrove the middle of that corner. That's going to let Ryan sneak away. But that's going to put him under fire.
Whoa, that cut off Barney's nose.
I don't think Barney's the guy I'd not give any room to.
Oh, man. They're all stacking up right here.
Clear. Yeah, the pack is really stacking up back here in this kind of hornet's nest back there.
This is good for Ryan.
Is clear. Parker now looking to get underneath Krahula, going down into turn 3 and 4 again. Krahula riding it from the top. Is he going to get the run off the corner? No, Parker's going to hold it there. 10 laps to go. We're on board with Parker. Going to drive it into the corner. Hope it sticks. Little sliding up there to the 24 machine. But he's going to be able to cut down. I think that's the advantage of 4 tires. It's get real squirrely. That's going to let Krahula get a run back. The advantage of 4 tires is you can just make that bottom just cut.
It just cuts so well. Oh.
Wow,
Ricky Harden in the back 3 wide.
Oh, boy. Undo her, folks.
Oh,
Parker. Parker getting real aggressive. He got loose off of the corner and tried to block Krahula. Krahula said, all right, I'll go back up top.
Oh, we got a car blinking. It's the 87. That's Carroll.
Contact between.
Contact. Oh, no.
Oh,
wreck.
Caution is out. Put it out.
Not good. Oh, my Lord. Wow. I got some onboards for everybody.
here's what it looked like to me. I think Krahula got loose out of the corner, and when it turned down, the 81 hadn't quite cleared it.
You know what, Brian? I totally agree. That car started getting sideways. That 24 car did, and the 80.
Oh wow! Get on board a Hardin. I just realized that the 81 spun back into the track.
Tell you what, speaking of a guy that really this is probably the closest nail biter out of them all on getting through that. I mean, there's a couple of them. The closest one is Drew Carroll. When that happened, he was in a 3 wide situation.
Hardin got a part of that more than I thought. I thought he missed it, but he didn't. Rich Jetty getting your Coastal Safety Auditor Lucky Dog Award. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services.
Holy cow. Maybe we can get that onboard of Drew Carroll there if... Alright. Drew, this was close right here, Brian. I'm not making this up. Drew Carroll is in a 3 wide situation coming off turn number 2. He's actually in the middle. So all this stuff is playing out just ahead. Watch this. He misses the 81. Oh,
wow.
He literally misses the 81. I mean, wow. Dan Murray and Jake Wright are the 2 other cars that really missed that incident as well.
Well, kids, we're going to get the restart here with probably 4 laps to go. And that's going to be it. We're going to be in the point of no return. The next flag after we get back running is going to end it. Unless it's the white flag.
What do you think, Brian? Did Jake Wright take 4 tires?
Jake Wright took 4 tires.
Okay, so he's the guy.
And here's the thing. Rhett McBride, 4 tires. Jake Wright, 4 tires. Robert Murray, 2.
Yeah.
Dan Murray, 4. Tim Johnston, 4.
I tell you what, Tommy Ryan, that had to make Tommy Ryan mad in that car right there because he had a phenomenal lead on those 2 tires as second place was battling.
Let's see here. Lights off on the pace car. Here we go, kids. 4 laps to go to decide it out. Tommy Ryan, your leader, looking to advance to the round of 8. He's pretty much already done that on points.
What a whale, Rhett McBride, though. I mean, what a phenomenal day he's had. That on the pole, spun out early, got everything back, and now here you are, you're fighting for the win.
And he's got 4 fresh feel-goods underneath that number 2 machine. Hopefully taking that number 2 machine and making it number 1 on the speedway. Chase update, I think Dom Runkle is going to make it to the next round of the chase on points. I believe Filarski and Thompson are out, Runkle in.
Wow, he made a 13
Wait for official
points.
wording, but just looking on that, that's what I think. All right, here we go. Restart. He's away. Green flag back into the air. 4 laps to go with the Coastal Safety Auditors. 150 at New Hampshire. Ryan gets away. Here comes the number 2 machine of McBride. They both drive it into the middle of the corner deep. McBride slides up. Ryan's going to be able to squirt away. Is Wright going to be able to get up there and do anything? He's going to try to get clear. Drew Carroll getting slow off the back stretch, but he's going to keep it pointed in the right direction. Here comes McBride again. Really getting aggressive, really washing up in the middle of the corner. They're going to almost come out of it 3 wide. Tommy Ryan, 3 miles, separating him from his second victory on the season.
Man, oh man, can Rhett McBride chase down Tommy Ryan? That is the question that has yet to be answered.
I think he's got to back it down. He's driving it really aggressively.
Oh, they're wrecking Dan Murray.
Dan Murray, Jake Wright spinning off the backstretch.
Still green.
No caution yet. They're going to keep it pointing in the right direction.
Oh, they're wrecking again.
Here they go in turn 3. That's it. Put it out. This race is over. Jeffrey Gilliam. Tommy Ryan going to get the win at New Hampshire. move on to the round of 8. Oh,
Man, that- just catching,
catching her breath up.
yeah, I was just more focused on what happened to bring out that caution. But man, oh man, Tommy Ryan's gonna come home to take the checkered flag. Rhett McBride was doing everything he can to try to run down Tommy Ryan, and caution comes out. Tell you what, another driver had a field day today was Robert Barn. He completely sideways about 4 times today, still saved it, and ended up finishing on a podium position, 3rd place.
There's a whole lot of things going on in that last race, on that last lap.
There's a lot of activity going on. It all started from turn 2 to turn 3. And yeah.
And for good measure, Jeff Ryan getting the Coastal Safety Auditors Lucky Dog Award for that last lap advantage. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services. Brutus is always giving, always in need of a good head scratch and a belly rub. Tommy Ryan going to get this one out of turn 4. He's going to claim his 2nd win on the season. First one came at Bristol. That's what got him into the chase. This one is going to get him out of the round of 16 into the round of 12. Tommy Ryan in that Northern Tool and Equipment Chevrolet, bringing it off of turn 4. He finishes under caution, but you can't say he didn't earn this one. Tommy Ryan, your winner at Loudon.
What a race. What a finish. Well, besides maybe the finish. I mean, I would have liked to have seen it go green, but although that was a pretty neat race, seeing everybody getting sideways off the corners, that was fun to watch.
Yes, it was.
Ricky Harden, actually not Ricky Harden, I don't want to think of Harden though, but Rhett McBride giving him a little tap, saying good win.
Little love tap. Tommy Ryan going to bring it around here, and I think it's time to make the donuts on the front stretch. So we're going to celebrate here, or we're going to let Tommy Ryan celebrate on the front stretch. Get himself some, nothing tastes better than some New Hampshire victory donuts. And here he goes. Tommy Ryan going to celebrate the victory. We're going to come back on the other side with a full field rundown, driver interviews, and the special announcement. Stay tuned. We'll be back on the other side. Welcome back to the post-race show here at the Coastal Safety Auditors 150 at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Tommy Ryan bringing home the victory, moving on to the round of 8. Here we go. Guys having a good night. Tommy Ryan, your winner. Rhett McBride, second. Matching the car number, Robert Barney in the third position. We'll talk to those boys on the other side here of the full field rundown. Tim Johnston finishing fourth. Will Warsler fifth. Jonathan Cadell, I tell you what, he spent the whole race a lap down and comes back to finish seventh. Great run for the driver of that number 11 machine. Craig Stykes in seventh, and Don Ruckle Jr. really rising to the occasion to get to the 8th position. Travis McQuestion in 9th, and Drew Carroll finishing 10th.
And outside the top 10, Dan Murray will finish in the 11th position tonight. Rich Jetty in 12th. Ricky Monzo will finish 13th. Jake Wright, after a spin-off turn 2, will finish 14th. Jeffrey Gilliam, the last car in the lead lap, 15th place. Jeff Ryan, the first car, 1 lap down, will finish 16th. Ricky Harden in 17th. 18th is Chris Westerfield. James Krahula in 19th. And Josh Parker rounding out the top 20.
21st goes to John Hensley. 22nd to Troy Haight. Rick Thompson, the airman. 23rd, Storm and Norman Pelletier. 24th, Randy Yoakum. 25th, Nick Cohan, the jerky man. At 26th, Scott Eckrich in an uncharacteristic 27th finish. Calvin Filarski in the 28th position. Brandon Minnick, 29th. And Gerald Livingston rounding out your top 30. We'll also, after we get through here, after everybody, we're going to go over some point standings, too, and how they all shook out. So, with that being said, let me see. We're going to catch up to the driver of the number 60 machine, Robert Barney. Barney, third place finish. How was that last little run to the checkered flag for you?
First, it's great to be back up in the booth again. But I was definitely looking to try and get that win. I know I had Rhett. He had some pretty good damage and his tires were worn out. I don't know if I had enough time to finish and get up there and get the win though.
Well, you certainly gave it a good run, a really good event for you. You started 12th. I mean, kind of an uncharacteristic start for you. It's either up front or out back, and you kind of split the middle. I mean, how was your strategy going on throughout this entire race?
Well, originally I was not going to qualify, and right at the last minute I decided to go and turn a lap just to stay out of the hornet's nest. I figured it was going to be bad news starting from the back tonight.
And it pretty much had a good prediction. A lot of early attrition took a bunch of guys out of this throughout the event. But we saw that number 60 machine sideways a lot out of turn 2. How was the track conditions out there?
It was pretty slippery. When we got spread out, it wasn't too bad. But when we were in traffic, the back end just wanted to come out. The line that I was running is not the one that I was comfortable with, but I had to stay there in order to keep my positions.
Sounds good. Now, next week, we head off to the Dover Motor Speedway, or Dover International Speedway, or however they call that track anymore. How do you feel about the high banks of Dover?
Let's call it right now. I'm going to be in the booth next week, too.
Oh, call it a shot. Barney, do you think you're going to be a chase spoiler, bringing home a victory?
I hope so. Definitely, I don't want to spoil anybody over here at PRL and theirs, but in our own championship with the IROC drivers, I believe I'm second and moving in on Will, and wanted to get him more points ahead of him tonight, but got to take what you can get.
There you go. Is anybody else you like to give a shout out to before we send you on your way?
I just get to shout out to Whitson Motorsports. It's good to have me in the club, and I will keep on running hard. Hopefully this luck turns around, and this is a good start.
There you go. Robert Barney, third place finisher tonight, bringing home a good finish. Looking forward to Dover next week. So we'll catch up with you then, Barney.
Therefore, thanks, guys. You have a good night.
Thank you. You too. So now, Tanner, you've caught up with a guy that I'm sure has an interesting story for the night. You've caught up with second place finisher Rhett McBride. Well,
I think this person, Rhett McBride, has had the most interesting night out of anybody on the racetrack. And Rhett McBride, you start on the pole tonight, you're running great. Then you had that self-spin off turn number 2, and then eventually you made contact with Calvin Filarski on lap 109, and still, somehow you managed to finish up there in the top 5, finishing second tonight runner-up. Tell me, how in the world did you get all the way back up to second place after all the activity that was going on tonight?
Just got lucky. There were a lot of cautions there at the end. Yeah, that was a crazy night. That was up after that first pit stop, we went back out and I ran just a little different line coming off a 2, a little bit higher, and the back end got light and came around on me, and just spent the rest of the night just trying to catch up and get back up to the front.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was a phenomenal job by you right there to get back up towards the front like that and still finish in second place or up in the top 5, originally where you started. You started on pole tonight. Now, I have to ask you, was there or was there not a front bumper on your car?
Yeah, it wasn't much. It wasn't much. I think it hurt the motor a little bit because I didn't have the drive off the turns like I had in the beginning of the race. But so I don't know. The 28, we were on the back stretch, and it almost, I didn't know if he was checking up for the 27 coming out of the pits or what. But I just looked up and he was there, and I certainly didn't try to, didn't mean to hit him. But after I got in the back of him, it was the engine just wasn't quite as strong after that. But we just got lucky and hung around,
The engine wasn't quite as strong, but you still finished second. That's, in other words of Kyle Petty, that's incredible. So, or in my words, that's unbelievable. So,
I don't think I was going fast enough to hurt the tires is probably what it was.
Probably. I mean, you did have that 2-tire change, and that kept you out towards the front pretty solidly, I may add. I mean, it didn't look like there was too much of a difference on tires. On a driver's perspective, was 2 tires feeling pretty good just as well as 4 tires?
Oh, God, no. No, that was complete luck that I hung on to it for as long as I did. I swear I was elbows up the whole time. No, I got lucky that the caution came when it did. It started to equalize a little bit because the guys who took 4, they started kind of burning the new off of theirs, and then it wasn't quite as bad. But those first few laps, yeah, it was probably not the best idea. But, track position was so important tonight, so I was just trying to stay up front. And, if you're hanging around in the top 5 like you saw tonight, I mean, anything can happen.
Anything can happen, and that is exactly what we've seen here tonight at New Hampshire. Well, now we're on to the next round, the round of 12. You make it in points-wise into the next round, the round of 12. You got Dover, Charlotte, and Kansas. I don't think you're all too worried about Charlotte and Kansas because our next track is probably a pretty tough track on the iRacing sim, and that is Dover. That's a tough track. It's a mile racetrack, mile concrete. How do you feel about your chances entering Dover?
Well, I like it. I mean, I'm not going to call it like Mr. Barney did, but I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about our chances, and I'm real happy that I think most of our team that's in the chase is moving on to the next round. So we're just gonna, if anybody needs some help, we're just gonna try to hang around up front and get the best finish we can. But I like the track. I think the next 3 tracks are pretty good for us.
Well, with the consistency that you've been showing on the racetrack, it is certainly, I think you will be running up there in the top 10, top 5 for that matter as well at Dover. So before we let you go here, Rhett, is there anything else that you would like to say that is on your mind?
Oh, man, just thank all the guys at Steel Horse. Swanee putting up with everybody, all the guys over there, Dan, Jonathan, everybody over there. It's just a great team to be a part of, and we have a great time racing. And thank Jegs. That'll do it.
Well, Rhett, we thank you for coming to talk to us tonight, and we will see you at Dover International Speedway.
Okay, Tanner. Thanks, man.
That was Rhett McBride finishing in the second position tonight, right behind Tommy Ryan. And speaking of Tommy Ryan, let's go up to Brian Yazek, who's caught up with Tommy Ryan in victory lane with the lobster.
With the big old lobster. Tommy, just another run-of-the-mill race for you, right?
Yep, just riding around like the other week, man. Just having fun.
I earlier tonight I called you the Matt Kenseth of the PRL, and I think that's really going to stick. Just because it seems like as these races go out, you just hang out in the top 5, and then all of a sudden at the end, you just kind of emerge as a contender. I mean, is that really just kind of the overall style? Is that just how it works? I mean, how do you keep hanging up there like that?
I just try not to get in a big hurry, man. And I like the Reinhardt thing better, dude.
You like, all right, I'll stick with Reinhardt if you want it.
It's all good. No, it's I just try not to get in a hurry and just try to keep track position. You know, I don't feel like I have to lead every lap like some in here I think try to do. I like to lead a lap to get the point. You know, as far as leading the most laps. You know, I just run my race. I try not to worry about what everybody else around me is doing. I got good teammates, man, to make good pit calls, when to do things, when not to do things, and you know, it's track position, track position, track position. And you guys saw where I got caught speeding on pit road, and that didn't work out too well. And I didn't know how in the world I was going to try to get back up front, because I was like, every time I pit, they're going to pit, or you know, tires matter. But I mean, I just laid back there on that one run, and I mean, I literally was just running like if I was, you know, down 3 cylinders. And the caution came out, and everybody went down pit road. I said, I can't believe it. I just got a gift, and went back up there and just rode around and just, you know, try to keep my nose clean.
Well, it certainly worked out. I mean, coming down to that final pit call, 2 tires versus 4. You know, what kind of drove your decision there? Was it mostly about track position, or just trying to keep one up on Parker?
All the above, really. Ricky had taken 2 tires before, and he was a little bit too loose on it. But we made a fuel call there, and man, I could just mat the thing, and it would just drive straight out of the corner and didn't get loose or anything. So it was the right call, obviously. But no, I wasn't too. I was definitely, because I was like, everybody's going to take 2. You know, we might have a couple stay out, which, you know, nobody really did. But yeah, it was just a good call on pit road, man.
Sounds good. You know, we're heading off to another unacceptable race next year, or not next year, next week. Do you think you got what it takes?
Yeah. Dover's tough, man. That place, the car, you get some really nasty wheel spin there, even on old tires, or new tires rather. You just got to keep it out of the wall. I mean, the walls come up really fast, and the thing can jump out from under you. And especially pit road, man. That's the toughest pit road to get on if we have green flag stops. You know, it's like 35 miles an hour, really easy to speed. You just got to, man, just really take care of your car and be really smart.
Sounds like the sort of race that's going to fit right into your wheelhouse. So, you know, you're on to the round of 8 now, and you know, we're another step into the championship. How do you feel about your hopes?
Pretty good, actually, man. I mean, there's some really, really fast guys in here, and it's going to be tough to beat them. But you know, as long as you do the right things that you can and not make stupid mistakes like I did tonight, you know, I should come out pretty good, man. I'm going to go for it. You know, obviously, I'm going to drive as hard as I can and try to keep sheet metal on it. If I can do that, man, I feel pretty good about my chances. Gotcha.
And so, as I've been corrected, it is actually the Host Venom 200 next week. So, not to give you unacceptable boys any extra fun, but you know what? We'll catch up with you next week, Tommy. Hope to talk to you here post race and seal your way up into the round of 8. Starting off, so congratulations on the win, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, man. It's got a couple of shouts, man. Obviously, my sponsor, NorthernTool.com. Always check their website. Unacceptable Facebook page. Always plug that. Buddy Paul couldn't be here tonight, and he's doing his day gig. But Outliners Mining Solutions car didn't get a chance to get on track tonight, but I'm sure he'll be back soon. And going to go get me another one, man, hopefully.
There you go. We'll catch you next week, Tommy.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, so that was the voice of Tommy Ryan. So, Tanner, I think it's announcement time. Well, wait, no, it's not announcement time. Director, do we have the chase grid? Somebody. All right, let's put that up on screen right now and show you who advanced. Scott Eckrich, Tommy Ryan, Dan Murray, Rhett McBride, Jonathan Cadell, and Jake Wright rounding out the top half of the grid. Tanner, what do you got for the bottom part?
Well, on top of that, Drew Carroll, Mr. Excitement, Rich Jetty, James Krahula, Ricky Harden, Nick Cohan, the Jerky Man, and Don Runkle Jr.
Like I said, Don Runkle rising to the occasion to get into that last chase spot. Good for him. That's going to set the field for Dover. So now it is announcement time. The booth's going to get kind of crowded here. So the first announcement that we're going to have is for 2017, for the Premier Racing League Cup Series, I will not be the voice of the PRL up here in the booth. I will actually become a driver and race against all these crazy guys week in and week out, going for the championship. So, and Tanner's working on some other stuff for next year. He might be racing some PRL. He might be racing something else, but we've got a good core to take over, and I wouldn't have left the booth without knowing that we've got a good team in place. So the second part of the announcement is your 2017 Premier Racing League broadcast team for your lead announcer, Chris Scala, and he will be joined in the booth by Sean Ambrose. So boys, take it away. You got the part 3 of the announcement.
Thank you very much, Brian. It's it's an honor to be a part of the Premier Racing League. What a fun league it's been to watch, and it's been fun to watch you two do a great job. But as you mentioned, 2017, it's, believe it or not, it's 5 months from Friday, and well, we got a big schedule getting ready. I know we're in the middle of the chase right now, Sean, but we've got an awesome schedule set up for 2017 also.
Hey, I can't wait to call a Coastal Safety Auditors lucky dog, to be honest with you. That's what I'm really looking forward to. But by the way, Chris, that recipe we were talking about, you put the meatballs in last, okay?
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Hey, I'm so excited to be here. You know, honestly, just a little truth to everybody. I haven't done a full-time Cup Series in a very long time. I'm coming home. I'm going back to where I started calling Cup races, and I can't wait. I've been all around the world now. I've done GT3s and Indy cars and you name it, Aussie V8s. So I bring back a world of experience. What good it's going to do for the Cup cars? Absolutely none, Chris. I'm going to let you lead the show, and I'm going to follow along and enjoy the ride, baby. I can't wait to get started.
Well, it's actually funny. You mentioned all those road cars, and you look at this schedule, and it has a wide variety of different races. And it all starts on February the 23rd, the Daytona race, 300 miles, and it's one of many Fast 5 races. Basically, that's going to be set up as we'll have one, of course, in February. Then May the 11th, you'll go to Martinsville for a Fast 5 race. How about June 1st? Charlotte Motor Speedway in a 400-mile Fast 5 race. Indianapolis, a Fast 5 race. Darlington, Atlanta. You can't pick a better tandem of tracks to do the Fast 5 on. That's going to be really fun.
You know, maybe they don't know what the Fast 5 is. Fast 5 means money. We're going back to like the old, I think you said the old no bull format with the Fast 5. Now, the first one at Daytona in February is going to set up the rest of them, but the top 5 from the previous Fast 5 win $50 if they win the next Fast 5. So definitely can't wait to get started with that. But you talked about all the road courses. We talked about it before getting in here. Monza. They're going to Autodromo Nazionale Monza.
Spell that out.
And sir, I can't wait to get there. A little secret, I got to do a little R&D with a couple of guys from the league at Monza when they were first thinking about it, and it's going to be a blast. They're tearing out the first chicane. They're going to let them run flat out down that long straightaway. Wow. We get there in June of next year. So just under a year, we'll be over there in Italy for that great race from Monza. But we'll go to the Twin Ring Motegi, and in Japan, Suzuka. Lots of great road courses. Mossport, the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Fun track. Season 3, though, Chris, set that up. We're going to be running 3 individual seasons for one long championship. What's the great surprise about the last part of this schedule?
Well, the one thing I noticed about that Season 3 coming up starting August 24th, there's no right turns at all. It's all left-handed turns, and it all starts at Bristol at night. I mean, what better way to start a new season there at Bristol? Then you go to Darlington, Richmond, It's pretty much every race in the chase when you look at the NASCAR, except a couple different tracks. How about going back to the Rock in Rockingham on the ninth, the final, or the second to last race, and then finishing up at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. That is going to be a phenomenal stretch of races right there. And a couple of new things that we get to add to this, too. One, you'll notice I didn't say the word chase. After this season, the chase goes away again. That's going to be new. So 36 straight-up races. And there's one other announcement we'll get to here in a few minutes, but the schedule itself just sets up perfectly with different road courses. You mentioned back in Season 1, you'll have Road America and Gateways even on the schedule for that oval. So it's just such a wide variety of races that makes the Premier Racing League one of the best on iRacing.
Okay, so NASCAR's done it forever. They've started, their season with the biggest race of the season, and they were running 3 little individual seasons here for one big championship. How dare somebody start a season with Bristol? Really? You want to make friends that way? You want to start things off right? Let's go to Bristol and tear them up on a Thursday night. That's going to be exciting.
Oh, it's going to be absolutely. Bristol, and then you go to Darlington right after that. So you're going to first knock each other around, then you're going to knock the wall around. That's the first 2 races to start the Season 3. But I'm super excited. I know we still got plenty of races to go here in 2016, but 2017 is definitely looking up to have a promising start and all the way through the year. And we do have one other announcement, and I know James Krahula is here with us, I believe, and I want to get him involved in this. James, there's one other big announcement that we need to mention about the broadcast.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me all right?
We got you.
All right. Yeah, so next year, again, everyone knows that we are moving to Thursdays. It will start promptly on GSRC for all 38 races. By the way, we do have 2 exhibition events. We do have our qualifying race for the Daytona 300 that'll be run the week before. And then also the Sunday before, we actually run the road course at Monza. We'll be running the ovals and exhibition race, so we'll have all 38 races that we're running next year live here on GSRC at 9 p.m. Eastern and iRacing Live. So that'll be great as well to have this series go forward and join a wider audience and bring more people the craziness that is our league.
Deshaun, I think I heard 2 words there that iRacing Live, did I just hear?
Yes, iRacing Live and the Global Sim Racing channel on Thursday nights. I love the way that sounds.
That is going to be awesome. Well, Sean, I know we got 2017 to look forward to coming up here in February, but let's not overshadow 2016. What a great race tonight. Congratulations to Tommy Ryan and the guys. That was a fun race to be a part of, and Brian will bring you in here on this as we wrap up our part, but just a phenomenal season. We still got plenty of races to go for you guys.
Yeah, we do. Don't forget about us. We still got a couple to wrap it up here and make it go for the end of the year. We're now down to, it's getting down time. Golly, I can't talk. Getting down to crunch time, and we still got a lot of racing left to go. We got the round of 8 coming up, but we got the round of 12. I mean, this is where things are really going to get exciting for the season. I mean, just when you really weigh it out throughout the rest of this chase, there's still going to be a lot of action. There's going to be a lot of beating and banging, and I think there's going to be some guys that are going to be really upset by the end of this. And I'm going to go on record here, and I'm going to throw a shocker out there. And a big name, will not advance out of the round of 12. I'm just saying the schedule's working out that way. It can happen. I think that we need to bank on that. Tanner, what do you think here for the rest of this run that we've got?
Well, just looking at the top 8 right now here, Brian. You got Dover, Charlotte, and Kansas as of right now. Dover's probably gonna be the toughest track out of all of them. But I think you're right. I think we're going to be in for a shock. I think these drivers are going to race much harder than before. As you can see on screen right now, Eckert, Ryan, Murray, McBride, Cadell, Wright, Carroll, Jetty, Krahula, Hardin, Cohan, and Runkle Jr. Man, I think somebody within. I don't think it would be Eckert. It could be, but if anything, I would go out on a limb. I would say McBride would be out, or Dan Murray would be another driver who would be out. But also another driver who's been quiet all season that might be in risk on getting out is Drew Carroll. He wasn't performing in the first round like he was doing in the regular season. He was just quiet, but he still made it on points. So, but when you go into that next round, Brian, that starts at Talladega. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see. You got a bunch of great drivers in that top 8, though, man. It's really hard to pick. It's like throwing up your fantasy league and see who you got and see what you got.
Exactly, and that's kind of what I was alluding to. You get the round of 12. Life is good there, but look at that. Talladega, Martinsville to start out the round of 8. That's where dreams are going to be made and dreams are going to be broken. But you know what? We're going to close the broadcast down. We're going to get all this equipment packed up. Amjad's got to haul a big lobster across the country here back down south here a little bit to get to the Dover Raceway. So we're gonna close it out here. Would like to thank the series organizer, James Grahula, our main sponsor tonight, Coastal Safety Auditors. Remember, they are your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services. We'd also like to thank the software and the hardware that we use on our broadcast that's listed on your screen right now. Thank you to the team today, Tanner, Amjad, and Dougie. And also a special shout out to our 2017 team, Chris Scala and Sean Ambrose. If you want to find out more about Global Sim Racing Channel, you can find it at www.globalsimracingchannel.com along with archived races and upcoming broadcasts. We are also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at facebook.com/Global Sim Racing Channel. Special thank you to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde, who both provide music for our broadcast. Their music can be found on the locations listed on the screen as well. Go ahead and check those boys out. They play some really smooth music right there. We talked about it. September 27th, the Host Venom 200 at Dover Raceway next week, and we start the round of 12. We also have other upcoming races for other series on screen, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. Until next time, may your connection stay stable and your right foot stay planted. Good night, everybody.